Hello everyone. Welcome to Knowledge Hub by Sri Chaitanya. So in this session we are going to have the live paper discussion of JEE paper 2, which you have just given 2 days back. That was on 26th May. Right. So I hope you have already enjoyed our JEE paper 1 discussion. If not, please go and find the link from our channel and quickly watch the JEE paper 1 discussion. So in this session we will be starting with chemistry first, followed by maths, and then finally with physics. So in order to get a detailed discussion of each and every question of paper 2, please stay tuned with us till the end of the session. So after me, first chemistry will be starting with Raghavi ma'am, then followed by maths, and then finally physics. Okay, I hope you have liked our previous session, that was JEE paper 1. So how was it? Please give me in the comment section right now here. And all those who have joined the session, please keep watching and tell your friends, family and everyone to continue watching till the end so that you get the detailed discussion of the paper. Thank you so much. Now I invite on the stage Raghavi ma'am, who is senior chemistry faculty, to start the discussion of the paper 2. Thank you.
Good afternoon to everybody. This is Raghavi, Chemistry Senior Faculty from Knowledge Hub. We are going to discuss with Paper 2 JEE Advanced 2024. Let us get into the details fast. Thank you. So, there are 17 questions and first 3 are single option correct ones. So first question, according to Bohr's model, the highest kinetic energy is associated with the electron in the. So how to discuss this one? So according to Bohr's model, highest kinetic energy is associated with the electron in. So here we know that energy of the electron, when you take energy of the electron, is equal to minus of kinetic energy. So give me one moment of time. One minute. Thank you. Okay. Right. According to Bohr's model, the highest kinetic energy is associated with the electron in the. So how to do this one? Energy, when you take, it is equal to minus of kinetic energy. So En is equal to E1 into Z square by N square. So directly I can say that kinetic energy is directly proportional to Z square by N square. So let us see. In the first option, it is first orbit of hydrogen. So it is directly proportional to 1 square by 1 square. In the next one, when you go for this one, here first orbit of helium. So Z value is 2. So 2 square by 1 square. In this case, second orbit of helium. So 2 square by 2 square. It is proportional to. In the last case, 3 square by 2 square. So we can say that here in this case, kinetic energy is maximum. Now let us move on to the next one. In a metal deficient oxide, example MxY2O4, M is present in both +2 and +3 oxidation states and Y is in +3 oxidation state. If fraction of M+2 ions present in M is 1/3, the value of X is. So this is from oxidation number concept. So directly we will move on to that one. So how to deal with this one? Our aim is to find out this X. So we know that sum of the oxidation states is equal to 0. So we can say that this X is existing in 2 oxidation states. In +2 oxidation state as well as in +3 oxidation state. Now +2 oxidation state is about 1/3 fraction and this is 2/3. So directly sum of the oxidation states when you take here x/3, that is the fraction of M in +2 oxidation state, into 2 plus this is +3 oxidation state and fraction of it is 2x/3 into 3 plus there are 2 Y atoms, each Y is having an oxidation state of +3. So 2 into +3 plus 4 into -2 is equal to 0. So when you simplify this one, you will get the X value and that X value is 0.75. So option B. It's also a direct one. Then third question, this is from biomolecules. In the following reaction sequence, the major product Q is. So here when you take glucose, now L-glucose or D-glucose, whatever you take, here stereochemistry is not important. So let us take CHO, CHOH taken 4 times, CH2OH. If it is made to react with HI at high temperatures, then first you will get N-hexane. But this is made to react with Cr2O3 at 775 Kelvin. So this is cyclization and aromatization. So now it undergoes aromatization. You will get benzene. Now this benzene, if it is made to react with chlorine in presence of sunlight, it is free radical addition reaction. So you will be getting at each place chlorine like this. So in the given options, it is there at fourth option. So these three questions are single option correct. Now, here fourth question is also single option correct. The species formed on fluorination of phosphorus pentachloride in polar organic solvent. So here they are talking about PCl5 when treated with fluorine. So now we can say that actually we know that in solid state it exists as PCl6 minus and PCl4 plus. Now fluorine cannot enter into the positively charged one, so it will be intact and the isomers of this will be formed, and you will be having PF2Cl4 minus and PCl4 plus. So PCl5 on fluorination will give you this as the product. Likewise, isomers, first basic thing is this one, but this undergoes isomerization in resulting the first one. Next question. Here, this is more than one option correct. An aqueous solution of hydrazine is electrochemically oxidized by oxygen, thereby releasing the chemical energy in the form of electrical energy. One of the products generated from electrochemical reaction is. So now they are saying that N2H4 is oxidized with oxygen. They only have given the reaction, so that you are getting N2 plus H2O. So here the oxidation state of oxygen is 0, whereas here it is -2. So what does that mean? It is undergoing reduction. Here the oxidation state of nitrogen is -2. Here the oxidation state of nitrogen is 0. So it is undergoing oxidation. So definitely this oxidation should occur at anode and this should occur at cathode. And what other inference you can get? Here each nitrogen is losing 2 electrons. There are 2 nitrogens, so 4 electrons. So basically this should occur at anode and this should occur at cathode, and 4 electrons change should be there. So let us look at the options now. Here when I take the first option, OH minus ions react with N2H4 at anode to form nitrogen and water. That is correct. In that way only oxidation will occur, releasing 4 electrons. The change in oxidation state total is 4, so 4 electrons. So this is correct. Obviously when this is correct, this should be wrong, because never N2H4 will undergo any change at cathode. Likewise, At cathode, molecular oxygen gets converted to OH minus. Oxygen is undergoing the change at cathode, and when it gains the electrons, definitely it has to form OH minus. So this is correct. Oxides of nitrogen are major byproducts of the electrochemical process. This is not correct because oxygen is not the product. So you cannot get the oxides of nitrogen. So the answers are A and C. Next one. Sixth one. Here the options with correct sequence of reagents for the conversion of P to Q. Whenever they give you such a type of questions, the reagents you need to pick up first. What changes are happening in this? First, let us have a look. Triple bond is getting converted to double bond. At the same time, this ester as well this ester are getting converted to COOH. Likewise, if I take cyanide, it is getting converted to CHO. Likewise, this is getting converted to OH. These are the basic changes which are occurring. So let us see what are the reagents. So the list of reagents first we will jot down and then we will move on. Triple bond can be converted to double bond by Lindlar's catalyst. Likewise, when you take this one, this two conversions, they are done with hydrolysis. At the same time, when I take CN2CHO, it is done by Stephen's reduction. Tin in presence of HCl and hydrolysis. Now, this conversion can be done with any of the reducing agents like NaBH4. In all the four options, these are the reagents. So we need to follow the order and eliminate the options. Now, if NaBH4 is coming immediately after SnCl2 and HCl, that is in these two cases, what will happen is SnCl2 HCl will convert this Cn to an imine, but NaBH4 immediately converts this imine to a primary amine. So the task is not done. Cn is getting converted to CHO, but in this process it is ending up with primary amine. So these two cannot be the answers. See here, when I take these two consecutively, instead of ending up with CHO, we will end up with primary amine. So I am eliminating these two. Now, this C, let us check it out. First NaBH4, it will reduce this C double bond O to OH. Okay. Now, SnCl2 and H3O plus. What it will do? SnCl2 and H3O plus when you take, this is Stephen's reduction, Cn gets converted to CHO. No problem with that. At the same time, this will hydrolyze ester as well as this. And Lindlar's catalyst will reduce triple bond to double bond. So this is correct. Now, Here, if you use Lindlar's catalyst and NaBH4 consecutively, there is no problem. The only thing is, after SnCl2 and HCl, you should not get NaBH4. So this is also correct one. So the options are only C and D. Now next one. The compounds having peroxide linkage are. How will we do this one? Whenever the oxidation number is more than its group number, then we can say that it is having peroxy linkage. So, if I take H2S2O7, what is the oxidation state of sulfur over here? 2 plus 2x minus 14 is equal to 0. So, x is equal to 6. Maximum oxidation state possible for sulfur is 6. So, it is not having any peroxy linkage. Now, here, when you do the calculation, 2 plus 2x minus 16 is equal to 0. So, x will become 7. So, it is more than 6, that is group number of sulfur. So, there is peroxy linkage here. Now, H2S2O5. So, 2 plus 2x minus 10 is equal to 0. So, x is equal to 4, less than 6. So, it is not having any peroxy linkage. H2SO5, 2 plus x minus 10 is equal to 0, x is equal to 8. More than 6, sulfur's group number. So, it is also having peroxy linkage. So, the answer is B and D. Next question. Eighth one, it is from surface chemistry. Here, to form a complete monolayer of acetic acid on 1 gram of charcoal, 100 ml of 0.5 molar acetic acid was used. Some of the acetic acid remained unadsorbed. To neutralize the unadsorbed acetic acid, 40 ml of 1 molar NaOH is required. If each molecule of acetic acid occupies P into 10 to the power of minus 23 meters square, surface area on charcoal, the value of P is. They are asking basically what is the area occupied by each molecule of this. So, how to go about this one? First, let us take how much acetic acid is taken initially. So, initial moles of acetic acid when you take, it is equal to molarity 0.5 into volume in liters 100 into 10 to the power of minus 3. So, it becomes 5 into 10 to the power of minus 2. Now, this is the initial number of moles of acetic acid taken. Now, after adsorption, the unadsorbed acetic acid is neutralized by 40 ml of 1 molar NaOH. So, what does that mean? Number of moles of acetic acid left I am talking about. is equal to, what is the molarity of NaOH? 1. And what is the volume? 40 ml. So 40 into 10 to the power of minus 3. So it comes to 4 into 10 to the power of minus 2. Now how much is adsorbed? So I can say that adsorbed acetic acid is equal to this minus this, that is 10 to the power of minus 2 moles. So we got the number of moles of acetic acid which is adsorbed. Now after this, number of molecules we need. So I am doing 6 into 10 to the power of 23 into 10 to the power of minus 2. This many number of molecules are adsorbed. Now this many number of molecules are adsorbed on how much surface area? 1.5 into 10 to the power of 2. So I can say that 6 into 10 to the power of 21 molecules are occupying a volume of 1.5 into 10 to the power of 2. So एक molecule का कितना? So when you do it, you will get the answer, and that is 2500 into 10 to the power of minus 23. This is the value which we need. So this is the question from surface chemistry. Now these are integer type of questions and the answer is 2500. Next question. Ninth one, and this question is from solutions topic and they are concentrating on elevation of boiling point, that is colligative properties, which is a favorite topic for the examiner. So here vessel 1 contains W2 grams of non-volatile solute X dissolved in W1 grams of water. In the first vessel you have water W1 and weight of the solute is W2. In vessel 2, W2 grams of another solute Y you are taking and weight of water is same. These two are same. When you are reading the question, eliminate the things which are necessary for you. Both the vessels are at same temperature and pressure. The molar mass of X is 80% that of Y. So what does that mean? They are saying that Mx is equal to 0.8 times that of My. Now the Van 't Hoff factor of X is, that is I of X is 1.2 times that of Y. So what does that mean? Ix is equal to 1.2 times that of Iy. Now this is the data they have given. Now we know that basically delta TB is equal to Kb into I into molality. What is molality? Weight divided by molecular weight of solute into 1000 by weight of the solvent in grams. So let us just look at the data. Here weight of water is same in both. So we are not bothered about this thing. Likewise, molecular weights are different, but weight of the solute is same in both the vessels. So now I can say that delta TB1 divided by delta TB2, on dividing we will get this, I am taking it as X, this I am taking it as Y. So now I can say that I of X divided by I of Y, molecular weight of Y divided by molecular weight of X. And now I of X is 1.2 times that of I of Y. So I can say that what is Mx and My relation? Mx is 0.8 times that of molecular weight of Y. So I can say it becomes 12 by 8. So now when you do this one, 12 by 8, it comes to 1.5. So what does that mean? It is 1.5 times more in vessel 1. But they are asking in percentage, so it becomes 150. I will repeat this one. Here it is based on solutions topic. Delta TB of X by delta TB of Y, when you take, it is equal to, the only things which are different for both are Van 't Hoff factors and molecular weights. Only those ratios will affect it finally. So Ix by Iy into My by Mx. That will solve the purpose. All other things are same in both the vessels. So the answer is 1.5, but they are asking in percentage. So 1.5 into 100. Next one. Tenth one. This is based on, once again, biomolecules. This time they asked ample number of questions from biomolecules and chemistry in everyday life. This is one important region where we need to concentrate from next year onwards. For a double-stranded DNA, one strand is given below. The amount of energy required to split the double-strand DNA into two single strands is. So here the thing which we should know basically is A binds with T with a double hydrogen bond, whereas G binds with C with a triple hydrogen bond. It is equal for the reverse thing also. Ulta bhi same hai. T with A double bond, C with GB triple hydrogen bond. It is of no difference. So now this is one single strand of DNA. First we are going to find how many A's are there and how many T's are there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 adenines are there. So I can say that adenine or thymine equal. It will bind with the complementary base pair with a double hydrogen bond. So the number of hydrogen bonds that are possible here are 7 into 2, 14. In the same way, G with C. How many are left out? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6 G or C, anything, and it will bind with the complementary base with a triple hydrogen bond. So 6 into 3, 18. So 14 hydrogen bonds are there plus 18 hydrogen bonds are there. Now look at the data. AT base pair requires 1 kilocalorie per mole. So here for breaking this 14 kilocalories are required. Here GC base pair break करने के लिए 1.5 kilocalories are needed. So I can say 18 into 1.5. When you add these two, 41 you will get. See here, it is a question from biomolecules. In biomolecules, this topic is very important. It is in nucleic acids. So first count how many purine bases are there, how many pyrimidine bases are there, and accordingly do that. A will bind with T with a double hydrogen bond. So there are 7 like that. 7 into 2, 14 hydrogen bonds are there over there. And in the second case, G or C, anything, will bind with the complementary base pair with a triple hydrogen bond. So 18 hydrogen bonds are there. The strength required here is 1 kilocalorie. Here it is 1.5. So add them up, you will get 40. Next one. 11th question. This is from chemical kinetics or nuclear chemistry, anything. All the nuclear reactions are first order kinetics reactions. So here a sample of initially contains only uranium-238 isotope of uranium. A sample is initially having only uranium-238 isotope. With time, some of uranium radioactively decays into lead-206. So what they are saying is uranium-238 is getting into lead-206 with time. That's what they mean in the first line. And then while the rest of it remains undisintegrated, when the age of the sample is P into 10 to the power of 8, the ratio of mass of lead-206 to that of uranium-238 in the sample is found to be 7. So what they mean is, if I take this is 1 gram, this would be 7. That's what they mean at that time. So now this is weight, not number of moles. So let us take 1 by, what is the atomic weight? 238. And here 7 by 206. These are the number of moles of uranium and lead at that instance of time. Now, what they are asking basically is, what is the age of the sample? So now, if I take first order kinetics, T is equal to 2.303 by K log A naught by AT. So here A naught indicates initial number of moles of uranium-238 and AT indicates number of moles of uranium-238 at that instance of time, and K is nothing but 0.693 by T half. So let us substitute 2.303 by 0.693 divided by T half is given as 4.5 into 10 to the power of 9 log A naught by AT. So what is AT? AT is amount of uranium at that instance of time. At that instance of time, it is 1 by 238. Now what about A naught? A naught is amount of uranium-238 initially at the starting. So how? Whatever lead is coming, it is coming from uranium. So I can say that initial number of moles of uranium are sum of number of moles of uranium and lead at that instance of time. I'll repeat this point. A0 when you take, it is uranium-238 initially. So how will we get that one? क्या भी lead है, whatever lead is there, it is coming from uranium. So I can say that initially the amount of uranium is sum of number of moles of lead and uranium at that instance of time. So I can say 1 by 238 plus 7 by 206. This is number of moles of uranium at that instance of time, and this is number of moles of lead at that instance of time. So now when you simplify this one, 2.303 by 0.693 by 4.5 into 10 to the power of 9. When you simplify this thing, it comes to approximately 9. So I can say log 9. Log 9 can be written as 3 square. So 2 log 3. That means this into, that is 2.303 by 0.693 by 4.5 into 10 to the power of 9 into log 9 means 3 square, 2 log 3. So 2 into log 3 value is 0.4771. So when you simplify this one, it comes to, here they are asking in terms of P into 108. P into 10 to the power of 8. So you will be getting 143 into 10 to the power of 8. They are asking this P value. That P value is 143. I'll repeat this one. This is based on chemical kinetics. Nuclear reactions are first order kinetics. Base formula 2.303 by K log A0 by AT. The only challenge here is A0 is what? AT is what? AT is uranium at that instance of time. The only concept which we need to know is all the lead is coming from uranium. So A0 would be equal to 1 by 238 plus 7 by 206. So the answer is 143. Next one. Now this is a combination of coordination compounds as well chemical bonding. So here they are asking among these compounds the total number of species with tetrahedral geometry. Tetrahedral geometry means they need to have sp3 hybridization. So let us see each one. First one, CO, Cn taken 4 times, minus 4. So here CO is in which oxidation state? CO is in 0 oxidation state. So I can say that 3d7 4s2. So when you take this one, here 9 electrons are there. So when you take 9 electrons, cyanide is a strong field ligand. Anyways, field strength does not have any effect over here. So there is no empty d orbital. It undergoes sp3 hybridization. In the same way, when you go for this CO, CO3, NO, here when you take this one, here NO is in +1 oxidation state. So CO should be there in -1 oxidation state. When you take -1 oxidation state, again orbitals are completely filled, CO in -1 oxidation state, completely filled electronic configuration. So there are no empty d orbitals. So sp3 hybridization here as well. Now XeF4, we know it. It is square planar. So just strike it out. PCl4 plus. It has 4 bond pairs, 0 lone pairs. So again sp3 hybridization, and we know that platinum or palladium complexes will show square planar geometry. So strike it off. ICl4 minus, it has 4 bond pairs and 2 lone pairs. So again it is square planar. CuCN taken 4 times -3. Here the oxidation state of copper when you take +1 oxidation state. So there is no choice for it. It has to have sp3 hybridization. Now there is one more thing, that is P4. When you take P4, in 15th group we know that phosphorus atoms are present at the corners of regular tetrahedral. So this is also having tetrahedral geometry. So how many, if we count 1, 2, 3, 4 and here it is 5. P4 is having tetrahedral geometry because phosphorus atoms are at the corners of the regular tetrahedral. So answer is 5. Next one, thirteenth one. An organic compound P having a molecular formula of C6H6O3 gives ferric chloride test. Let us analyze till this point. C6H6O3. So when you take unsaturation number, high unsaturation number, hydrogen deficiency is more. So definitely we need to have a benzene ring. So I am writing benzene ring first. Now, there are 3 oxygens. They can be aldehyde or ketone or alcohol, but it is giving ferric chloride test. Neutral ferric chloride test is given by phenols. So, इधर एक OH, इधर एक OH, इधर एक OH, 3 OHs. Symmetrically. Why am I keeping them like that? Why not side by side? They have given one clue. What is that? It does not have intramolecular hydrogen bonding. So उसका मतलब है कि OHs cannot be side by side. So symmetrically I placed. And I am thinking this as P. But now the compound P reacts with 3 equivalents of NH2OH. There is no reaction of alcohols with that. But we know that this molecule can show tautomerism. So let us write the tautomeric form of it. Yes, sir. Now, so P means these two. Now, this P is reacting with NH2OH to produce oxime Q. So when it is made to react with oxime NH2OH hydroxylamine, you will be getting an oxime. What is that oxime? Symmetrically like this. So now this is Q. Treatment of P with excess of methyl iodide in presence of KOH. This is the important one. So they are talking about this compound when it is made to react with methyl iodide in presence of KOH. Kya? Now here you have at these three places active hydrogens. When hydrogens are removed, the anion formed is highly stable. So first KOH will abstract the protons from here, anions are formed, and that will react with methyl iodide. At these places you have two hydrogens. So those two hydrogens are replaced with methyl groups. So I can say that when it is made to react with methyl iodide in presence of KOH, then nothing will happen to the skeletal structure. It will be like that. Only thing is two methyl groups are added like this. Now that is not the end. Here this is R. This is the major product. Reaction of R with excess of isobutyl magnesium bromide. This R is made to react with isobutyl magnesium bromide. What is that? CH3, CCH3, CH2, MgBr. Treatment of aldehydes or ketones with Grignard's reagent followed by hydrolysis. This will be converted to alcohol. At the same time, this R group gets attached over here. So basically we can write this. I am not changing the methyl groups. Now the left out positions, the same reaction will occur. This isobutyl group will attack CH2CH, CH3, CH3 और एक OH form हो जाता इधर. So the same thing will happen over here as well here. So now how many methyl groups are there in that final compound is the question. So let us count. First 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now the left out positions I am talking about. What are they? This highlighted positions. In each highlighted position you have 2 CH3s. 2 into 3, 6. 6 plus 6, 12. So 12 methyl groups are there. So here this question is based on alcohols as well as carbonyl compounds, oxygen containing compounds. If you take first one, P is having a molecular formula of C6H6O3. So we are just writing it as a symmetrical one, tautomerization, and then reaction with NH2OH to confirm that it is having this tautomeric form. Now when it is made to react with CH3I in presence of KOH, active hydrogens are replaced. Though active hydrogens hai, so those are replaced with methyl groups. So these three positions are having 2 methyl groups, counting up to 6. Now the next reaction, that is Grignard's reagent followed by hydrolysis. Again you are going to get 6 more methyl groups. So 6 plus 6, 12. Next. Now, paragraph type of questions. Based on each data, there are 2 questions. So, first data. An organic compound P with molecular formula of C9H18O2 decolorizes bromine water. That means there is unsaturation in the molecule and shows positive iodoform test. So that means you do have a carbonyl compound with a methyl substituent or OH on the second carbon atom. Now, P on ozonolysis followed by treatment with H2O2 gives Q and R, while compound Q shows positive iodoform test, compound R does not give positive iodoform test. Q and R on oxidation with PCC followed by heating gives S and T. So, this is the data, and the one more data they have given is both S and T show positive iodoform test. Now, the first question based on this is how many carbon atoms are there in S and T? Let us solve this one. Now, here they are saying that the molecular formula is C9H18O2. It has a double bond because it is decolorizing bromine water. So what we will do is all the 9 carbon atoms 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 carbon atoms I have written like this. And there is a double bond, I did not fix the position of the double bond. Now, it shows positive iodoform test. That means what? It is having a methyl ketonic group, or else at the second carbon atom OH is there. Now, there are 2 oxygens in the basic formula. So, when you go with the hydrogen deficiency, then I can write the molecular formula as OHs. 2 OHs should be there, but second OH I am not keeping on that carbon atom, I am keeping it on the third carbon atom. Why, we will see based on the data. Now, there is one double bond, so I am keeping it here. That will satisfy your this C9H18O2 formula. Let us fill the hydrogens. CH3, H, CH2, CH, CH, CH2, CH3. How many carbons are there total? 9 carbons are there. कितने hydrogens है? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Hydrogens are satisfied, oxygens are satisfied. So I am thinking this is the molecular formula. Now we will proceed. What they are saying over here, P on ozonolysis followed by treatment with H2O2 gives Q and R. So when ozonolysis is done in presence of H2O2 without using zinc dust, final product is COOH. So you can break the double bond over here. दो oxygens इधर एक, तो क्या बनता इधर? Now what will you be getting? CH3 I didn't fix which is Q and which is R. This is one and the other one is COOH, CH2. These are the things. Now, in order to fix Q and R, while compound Q shows positive iodoform test, so the only thing which can show positive iodoform test is this one, because OH group is on the second carbon atom. On oxidation, it can give a methyl ketonic group. So I am fixing this as Q and this as R. Now, Q and R on oxidation with PCC followed by heating gave SNT. So here it is treated with PCC as well, this is treated with PCC. Okay. PCC, partial oxidizing agent. So first I will be getting CH3C double bond O, CH2COOH, here COOH, CH2, C double bond O, CH2, CH3. But it is not just PCC treatment, it is followed by heating. So when you heat it, here this is a beta keto acid. This is the alpha carbon atom, this is the beta carbon atom. On the beta carbon atom you have a C double bond O. Beta keto acids on heating will undergo decarboxylation very easily. So you will be getting this as CH3, C double bond O, CH3. This is actually the final product S, and this is again decarboxylation, CH3, C double bond O, CH2, CH3. So now here this is S and this is T. Both S and T show positive iodoform test, they will show. This is having methyl ketonic group. This is also having methyl ketonic group. So we arrived at the right point. It is in accordance with the question. Every point is in accordance with the question. So here Q and R when you take, these are the monomers of PHBV. So I can say that this is the thing which is needed for the next question. So Q and R are monomers of PHBV. S and T are having methyl ketonic group. So P is this only. Now what is the question based on this information? Based on this information, sum of number of oxygen atoms in S and T. S में एक oxygen है और T में भी एक ही oxygen है. So the number of oxygens in total are 2. So 2. So based on this paragraph data, we got S and T, and in S we have one oxygen and in T you have one more oxygen. So total number of oxygens are 2. So this is the 14th question based on this data. So this data is useful for doing 15th question as well. So let us move to 15th question. Same data, and they are asking finally when you take S and T. See here in the previous question they asked what are S and T. Now this complete copolymerization of 500 moles of Q and 500 moles of R gives 1 mole of single acyclic copolymer U. So the molar mass of U they are asking. So what are Q and R? In the previous question we have seen Q when you take, 1 minute, right. So Q when you take, it is beta hydroxy butyric acid, CH3, CH, OH, CH2, COOH, this is Q. Likewise, R is beta hydroxy valeric acid, that is CH3, CH2, CH, OH, CH2, COOH, ये R है. These are the monomers for the polymerization of PHBV. So they are asking the question based on polymers. The last three topics are very important: biomolecules, chemistry in everyday life, and polymers. They are asking a number of questions. In this year, they asked so many questions based on this concept. They arrived from organic chemistry concept to this polymers. Wherever two topics are interrelated, those are important, obviously. So PHBV के बारे में बोल रहे हो लोग. So now PHBV we need to concentrate. What they are asking, what is the molecular weight of PHBV? When 500 molecules of this undergoes polymerization with 500 molecules of this. So either in this Q, when you take, the molecular weight is 104. Likewise, here the molecular weight is 118. How the polymerization is occurring? It's a copolymer. Condensation copolymer. By the elimination of water molecules, it is occurring. When 500 molecules are undergoing copolymerization, then how many molecules of water will be eliminated? 499, because the two extreme ends are not involved in polymerization. So that much weight we need to subtract from the polymer. 499 into 18, that is the weight of water. What I am talking about, this is weight of water, which is eliminated. Now, what is the core weight of the polymer? We need to calculate. So 500 into 104 plus, what is the other one? 500 into 118. So when you add these two and subtract the weight of water, you will get the weight of the polymer. And this weight of the polymer is 10, 20, 18. So this is the integer value. Based on this information, two questions were asked. One is, what are S&T, how many oxygens were there? And the second one is, on polymerization, what is the weight of the polymer? That polymer which is formed is PHBV. So they are talking about PHBV, and the molecular weight is 10, 20, 18. Now, next paragraph questions. This is based on practical chemistry. So the topics like practical chemistry, chemistry in everyday life, biomolecules, these topics have been given immense importance this year. So this question, and also in the paper 1 there are questions from practical chemistry. Practical chemistry is very important. So based on this data, two questions are there. What is that data? We will see. When potassium iodide is added to an aqueous solution of potassium ferricyanide. What is potassium ferricyanide? K3FeCN6. A reversible reaction is observed in which complex P is formed. In a strong acidic medium, the equilibrium shifts completely towards P, that is product. Addition of zinc chloride to P in slightly acidic medium results in sparingly soluble complex. Two reactions are there. So first reaction, potassium iodide, when you take, if it is made to react with K3FeCN6, it's an oxidizing agent. I minus gets oxidized to iodine. ये जो भी ferry है, it will get converted to ferro. So you will get K4FeCN6. Balanced chemical equation. The first question is based on balancing. So I am balancing it. So this is the balanced chemical equation. So this is till this point. This equation shifts towards the product side in acidic medium. That is the extra information which they have given. Addition of zinc chloride to P, that means to this, in slightly acidic medium results in sparingly soluble complex. That complex formed is very important. What is that? When you take K4FeCN6, it is the identification of zinc cation in qualitative analysis, practical chemistry. K4FeCN6 when you take, if it is made to react with zinc chloride, then you will get the anionic part as Fe. So total oxidation state over there is -8. So that will be satisfied by K2Zn3. So now these are the two equations. First equation you will even study in I- identification and iodometry. Second one is the typical one. It will come in zinc identification. So based on these two equations, two questions are there. First one, the number of moles of potassium iodide required to produce 2 moles of P. 2. Direct one. If you know the balanced chemical equation, practical chemistry, you can very well do this one. So 16th one, answer is 2. Now based on the same data, 17th question. In this 17th question, second equation they are focusing on. So what is that equation? When you take ZnCl2, if it is made to react with K4FeCN6, what is formed? K2Zn3 FeCN6 taken twice. Along with that, you are getting KCl. So when you take this one, the number of moles, the number of zinc ions present in the molecular formula of Q. This Q is sparingly soluble complex. They are talking about this complex. So K2Zn3 FeCN6 taken twice. In that you are having how many zinc ions? 3. So the answer is 3. These two questions are from practical chemistry. That means practical chemistry is having very important role in coming years also. So we have done with 17 questions of chemistry in paper 2. So now we will be going on with maths paper 2. In a while, 2 minutes break.
Online classes that don't cater to your unique learning needs. Introducing our HyFlex program. Online learning, offline cloud sessions. With HyFlex, convenience is on your side. With HyFlex, flexibility is on your side. With HyFlex, engaging classes are on your side. With HyFlex, accessibility is on your side. With HyFlex, stress-free learning is on your side. Step into the future of learning with our HyFlex program. What are you waiting for? Join HyFlex now and say hi to our experts in JEE, NEET and Foundation coaching. Are you bored of typical online classes that don't cater to your unique learning needs? Introducing our HyFlex program. Online learning, offline cloud sessions. With HyFlex, convenience is on your side. With HyFlex, flexibility is on your side. With HyFlex, engaging classes are on your side. With HyFlex, accessibility is on your side. With HyFlex, stress-free learning is on your side. Step into the future of learning with our HyFlex program. What are you waiting for? Join HyFlex now and say hi to our experts in JEE, NEET and Foundation coaching.
NEET Elite, your gateway to success in medical entrance exams. Are you an ambitious 10th 11th grade student dreaming of a seat in top medical colleges, including AIMS, join our NEET Elite batch. Look no further. Our comprehensive coaching program is tailored just for you. 1 year and 2 years integrated hybrid program. NEET Elite ensures cutting-edge curriculum, expert guidance, and personalized attention. But that's not all. We understand the importance of a comfortable learning environment with a focused and nurturing atmosphere. Enjoy the convenience of residential and transport facility. Limited seats. Enroll now to secure your seat in NEET Elite and Knowledge Hub by Sri Chaitanya.
Thank you, Raghavi Madam, for the chemistry session. This is Naresh, Senior Advanced Mathematics faculty. Now let us discuss the JEE Advanced 2024 Mathematics Paper 2. Okay, so let me start with the section 1. In section 1, we are having 4 questions, and each question is having 4 options, out of which only one of them is going to be correct. Okay, now let us start solving problems here. Now if you look at the first problem in section 1, so E is considering only the principal values of inverse derivative functions. Then we have to find the value of this. What is this expression? Tan of sine inverse of 3 by 5 minus 2 cos inverse of 2 by root 5. So out of which there are 4 options and which we have to pick the right one. Okay, now let us solve this one. What is given? It is given that tan of sine inverse of 3 by 5 minus 2 cos inverse of 2 by root 5. So this is actually a very simple question only. Now it can be answered so easily by just assuming let capital A is equal to this quantity, which is nothing but sine inverse of 3 by 5, and B is equal to 2 cos inverse of 2 by root 5. Then this becomes what? Then this becomes that tan of A minus B. We know very well about this formula. Tan of A minus B is tan A minus tan B by 1 plus tan A tan B. Now students, so it has become so simple that enough to find the values of tan A and tan B, and substituting into this we get the value of the given expression. Now the question is that we have given this A as this one and B as this one. How to get tan A and tan B from these two? It is so simple that since A is sine inverse of 3 by 5, then it can be written as sine A is 3 by 5. So from right angle triangle, let this be the angle A. This is opposite by hypotenuse, which is going to be 3 by 5, that is 3 to 5, and this is going to be 4 by using Pythagorean law. So therefore from here you can pick the value tan A is how much, Andy? 3 by 4. And then from here B by 2 is equal to cos inverse of 2 by root 5. Then this can be written as cos of B by 2 is 2 by root 5. So again, by considering the right angle triangle here for the angle B by 2, so we know that this is adjacent by hypotenuse, this is 2 root 5, and this is going to be 1 by using Pythagorean law. So from here I can pick the value tan B by 2, which is how much, Andy? It is so simple, which is going to be 1 by 2. But I am actually looking for what? I am actually looking for tan B value. But what I got? I got tan B by 2. So how to get tan B from tan B by 2? It is again simple. We have a formula that tan B is equal to 2 tan B by 2 by 1 minus tan square B by 2. So this is going to be tan B is 2 into 1 by 2 by 1 minus 1 by 4. This is 3 by 4. Now therefore we have tan A is 3 by 4 and tan B is sorry, this is going to be 4 by 3. Is 4 by 3. So substituting these values into this formula, we get the required answer as, let me solve it here. Then tan of A minus B is equal to tan A, which is 3 by 4 minus 4 by 3 by 1 plus 3 by 4 into 4 by 3, which is going to be minus 7 by 12 by 2, which is going to be 24. Therefore, which option is correct, Andy? Option B is correct. Is it okay? So, now let me go to the next problem. Yes, so it is given that S is the region, okay, which is bounded by positive x-axis and positive y-axis, and inside the region of the parabola y square is equal to 4x, and left side of the region y square is equal to 12 minus 2x, which is also a parabola, and we know that this is a straight line having this in equation. First of all, let me draw the graphs of this parabola and this parabola and this line and only have to draw this graphs in the first quadrant, because you are considering x is greater than or equal to 0 and y is also greater than or equal to 0. So now let me draw the graph of it. So clearly, so x-axis, y-axis. So first let me consider the first parabola, y square is equal to 4x. So this is clearly a parabola whose vertex at the origin, and here clearly 4a is 4, so that a is 1. So whose focus is at 1 comma 0. It looks like this. Y square is equal to 4x. And look at this parabola, y square is equal to 12 minus 2x. So this still can be written as, by taking 2 common, 6 minus x. So y square is equal to minus 2 of x minus 6, which is clearly an open leftward parabola. With vertex at 6 comma 0, okay, with different letter spectrum. So that means the size of this parabola is different from the size of this parabola, because we didn't have both values, a values are same here. So this is O 0 comma 0. So somewhere over here you just look at 6 comma 0, and this parabola is open leftward with vertex 6 comma 0. So I can draw its rough diagram maybe like this. Okay, now let me find out these points of intersections of these two parabolas. So how can I find these points of intersections of these two parabolas? By solving these two equations. So now for point of intersection, we just solve these two. That means in place of y square, you replace it by 4x in this parabola. You get what? 4x is equal to 12 minus 2x, which is 6x is equal to 12, then x is equal to 2. We know that if x is 2, either you substitute the value of x is 2 in this parabola or in this parabola, you get y, which is actually plus or minus root 8, but I just consider plus root 8 because I am in the first quadrant, because along positive x-axis and along positive y-axis. So this is going to be how much here? This is going to be 2 comma root 8. And there is one more thing which I have to draw, which is actually a straight line. What is that? It is 3y plus root 8x, by not considering the inequation here, by just considering the equation. This is 5 root 8. So let me find the intercepts of this line, because I wanted to draw a graph of this straight line. So suppose if I put y is equal to 0, I get its x-intercept. So this is going to be root 8x is equal to 5 root 8. So then x is equal to 5. It means that this straight line is intersecting the x-axis at 5 comma 0. Okay, and if I put x is 0, I will be getting its y-intercept, then y is going to be 5 root 8 by 3. But here one thing which is going to be true is that what will happen if x is 2? So if x is 2, in this line 3y plus 2 root 8 is equal to 5 root 8. So this is going to be 3y is equal to 3 root 8. So therefore y is equal to root 8. So what we understand with this observation? Oh yes, this line is intersecting x-axis 5 comma 0, y-axis at 0 comma 5 root 8 by 3, and also passing through the point of intersection of these two parabolas. So how can I draw its line? How can I draw it? So simply it may be looking like this. Sorry, it is actually a straight line. Okay, so now what is the region which is bounded by these three curves and the positive x-axis and positive y-axis? This is going to be this region. Yes, and we can draw a perpendicular from this point. Let this be the point P, O, and let this be Q. So let's draw a perpendicular from P onto this x-axis. Let this be N. So area of this region is same as the area of the region OPN and area of the triangle PNQ. So finding the area of the region bounded by this is same as finding the area of the curvy linear triangle which is OPN plus area of the triangle PNQ. Okay, so where I have the place, so here clearly the required area is now area of OPN plus area of PNQ. Okay, now this is nothing but area of OPN is going to be, so if I take a vertical strip from 0 to n is actually what, 2 comma 0. As the vertical strip is moving from 0 to 2, upper edge is moving on the curve which is actually what it can be written as y is equal to 2 root x. It is can be written as what, y is equal to 2 root x, and lower edge is always moving on the line x axis, that is actually y is equal to 0. So this is going to be integral from 0 to 2 2 root x dx plus area of this triangle which is actually a right angle triangle because it is a perpendicular from P onto the x axis. So this is going to be base, half into base into height. Base is obviously 5 minus 2 which is going to be half into base 3 into height is going to be root 8. So finally after solving this you are going to get this as 17 root 2 by 3. So on comparing this with this, what is the place of alpha? Alpha is 17 by 3. Alpha is actually 17 by 3. So which one is the right option? 17 by 3 is the right option for this question. Okay. Now let us move to the next question. Yes. What is actually given? For any real number k, when limit is x is tending to 0 plus, means when x is approaching to 0 from right side, sine of sine kx plus cos x plus x whole power 2 by x is e power 6. Then the value of k is how much? It means that, so there is only a value of k which is actually missing here in this limit. There is a value of k for which the limit of this function is e power 6. So he is asking us to find what would be that k. Now Look at here, let the limit L is limit x is tending to 0 plus, which is sine of sine kx plus cos x plus x all power 2 by x. First we actually do what? We just substitute the limit into the given function. That is what we do for the first time, okay? So now if I substitute x is equal 0, this is sine 0 plus cos 0 and this is 0 and this is going to be 1, and when x is tending to 0 plus, this goes to plus infinity. So this is in the form of 1 to the power of infinity. So we know that which is actually an indeterminate form in mathematics. So already we have a specific method to solve the limits of 1 to the power of infinity form. Okay, what is that method? Yes, we can convert this into exponential form as like this. It can be written as e power g of x into, that is 2 by x into f of x. This can be taken as f of x sine of sine kx plus cos x plus x minus 1. Now therefore L is equal to e power 2 by x, or else you divide each term of this expression with x and a. So how much it is going to be? So sine of sine kx by x plus, write these two together, cos x minus 1 by x plus 1. So it can be written like this. Now from here L is equal to e power 2 times of, actually we have sine of sine kx. What is actually missing here? Sine kx is missing in the denominator. So please multiply and divide with sine kx here. So you get what? Sine of sine kx by sine kx into sine kx by x plus, this is actually, you keep it as it is, cos x minus 1 by x plus 1. Now, sorry, I forgot to keep the limit here. Limit x is tending to 0 plus. So limit x is tending to 0 plus. Limit x is tending to 0 plus. So as this limit is tending to 0 plus, this goes to 1 and this goes to k. Okay. Now this limit L is going to be in the next step e power 2 times of, this is going to be 1 and this is going to be k. So this is going to be k plus, we know that cos x minus 1 by x, when x is tending to 0, this gets 0 by 0 form. Okay. So by simply applying L'Hospital rule, or else by multiplying and dividing with x here, what we get here? Cos x minus 1 by x square, which is 1 by 2 into 0. And then minus 1 by 2 into 0 plus 1 here. So this is going to be L is equal to e power 2 times of k plus 1, but this must be equal, how much it is given? E power 6, which is actually given. It is actually, this limit is given as how much ending? E power 6. Now on comparing the powers here, 2 of k plus 1 is 6, means k plus 1 is 3, then k is going to be how much? Which is 2. So therefore the right option is 2. Is it okay? Now let me go to the next problem. Yes. So this is from, this is just the function which is given. So this function is defined as x square into sine of pi by x square. This is for all non-zero real numbers. But for 0, only f of x takes what? Actually 0. Now he is talking about what? He is talking about the solutions of, number of solutions of f of x is equal to 0. He is asking about the number of solutions of which equation? F of x is equal to 0. Already in the question, 0 is one solution because f of x takes 0 when x is 0. Now what is actually looking for? Is looking for the non-zero solutions of the equation f of x is equal to 0. Okay. Now, so first option, if you look at this, is f of x is equal to 0 having infinitely many solutions in this interval. We have to verify. So is f of x is equal to 0 has no solutions in this interval. So likewise we have 4 options, so we have to go one by one option to verify how many solutions are there. Now For this, so what I'm actually looking for, I'm looking for the number of solutions of the equation f of x is equal to 0, in particularly for x not equal to 0. Okay, so then what is actually given? F of x, x square into sine of pi by x square is equal to 0. Since x is not equal to 0, then x square should never be 0, and this must be 0. Which one must be 0? Sine of pi by x square must be 0. So we know that the general solution of sine x is 0 is just, it has to be pi by x square has to be some integer multiple of pi where n is belongs to z. Okay, n pi. So from here I get 1 by x square is n. Okay, now x can be written as what? X square can be written as 1 by n, so therefore x is 1 by root n. Okay, so finding the number of values of x is same as finding the number of positive integral values of n, because x is can be written as 1 by root n. Okay, now we start counting the number of solutions of this equation by counting the possible values of positive values of n and a. Positive integral values of n and a. Okay, now, so first of all, let me verify the first option. Suppose I have to, if x is belongs to this interval, if x is belongs to this particular interval, then I have to verify whether this equation is having infinitely many solutions in that interval or not. Let's see. So if x is belongs to the closed interval 1 by 10 power 10 comma infinity open, then this is same as saying 1 by root n, because x is 1 by root n and so 1 by root n has to be belongs to closed 1 by 10 power 10 comma open infinity. Now take the reciprocals. So root n must be belongs to, how much it is? Open 0 to 10 power 10 closed. Now n is belongs to open 0 to 10 power 10 whole square closed. Clearly 10 power 10 is a finite real number. And you are taking n, which is from where? Open 0 to a finite real number. So when you consider an interval from open 0 to a finite interval, in between there are finitely many values of n and a, because n is a positive integer. So how many positive integers will be there from a 0 to a finite real number and a? So there are finitely many, not infinitely many, because this is a finite real number. So therefore here n is going to be finite. Then same as saying if n is finite, obviously x is going to be finite. But he is saying that in the first option, he is saying that f of x has infinitely many solutions in this interval. So then this option is going to be wrong. Then let me look at the second option. Option B. So then now suppose if x is belongs to closed 1 by pi comma infinity. So this is same as saying 1 by root n belongs to closed 1 by pi comma open infinity. So this is root n belongs to open 0 to closed pi. So n is belongs to open 0 to pi square. We know that pi square value is how much? It is around 9.8 something. So therefore n is belongs to 0 comma 9.8 something open. So from 0 to 9.8 something, how many values of n will be there? How many positive values of n will be there? There are 9 values of n. So what actually takes? Here n takes 1, 2, 3 up to so on 9. There are 9 solutions. But if you look at this option, option B, he given that f of x is 0 has no solutions in this interval. But we found out how many solutions only? 9 solutions. So with this, I also can say that this option B is also wrong. Is it okay? So then what about option C and option D? Okay, if I look at option C, let me discuss here only. Option C, if X is belongs to open 0 comma 1 by open 0 comma 1 by 10 power 10, this is nothing but 1 by root 10 belongs to 0 comma 1 by 10 power 10. So root 10 belongs to 10 power 10 to infinity. So n belongs to open interval 10 power 10 whole square to infinity. Clearly n is infinite. Then same as saying x is also infinite. But in the third option, the set of solutions of this equation in the interval are finite. So this is wrong again. So finally, what would be we are expecting the right one? Maybe fourth option. Let me check the finally. So if x is belongs to 1 by pi square to 1 by pi, then root n belongs to pi to pi square, then n belongs to pi square to pi power 4. So that is n is belongs to pi square is 9.8 something, comma pi power 4 is 97.2 up to so on. Clearly, how many positive integral values of n between 9.8 to 97.2? Maybe. If you look at the fourth one, there are more than 25 solutions. Obviously, between 9.8 to 97 and there are more than 25 solutions. Yes. Therefore, finally, what would be the right option? The option, fourth one is the right option. The only option which is right is the fourth option. Is it okay? Yes. Now let me go to the fifth question. Is it okay? Yes. Let S be the set of all these order pairs alpha comma beta such that the limit of this expression is 0. So here what are missing here? Here alpha is missing and beta is missing. So indirectly he is asking us to find the possible values of alpha and beta for which this limit gets 0 when x is tending to infinity. Okay? So now let me discuss that. So what is given? Limit x is tending to infinity, sine of x square, log x to the base e whole to the power of alpha, sine of 1 by x square whole divided by x power alpha beta, log of 1 plus x to the base e whole power beta. This has to be 0. So we are looking for the possible pairs alpha beta for which this limit gets 0 when x is tending to infinity. Okay. So now when limit x is tending to infinity, sine x square, so x square gets to infinity. So as x square is tending to infinity, sine of x square oscillates between -1 to +1. Okay. And then when you come to this, as x is tending to infinity, log x also tends to infinity. Okay. Now sine of 1 by x square. 1 by x square tends to 0. Okay. Now, so here having this, I can do that log x to the base e whole power alpha. So here multiply and divide with sine of, multiply and divide with 1 by x square. This is x power alpha beta into log of 1 plus x to the base e whole power beta. We know that as x is tending to infinity, 1 by x tends to 0, 1 by x square also tends to 0. When I apply this limit, 1 by x square tends to 0, For this sin of 1 by x square by 1 by x square, this gets 1 only. So in the next step, I am going to just hide it. Hiding means I am considering this limit as how much only? 1. So this has to be 0. Limit x is tending to infinity. I have here sin of x square into log x to the base e whole power alpha by x square will come down. This is going to be x power alpha beta plus 2 into log of 1 plus x to the base e whole power beta. This has to be 0. Of course, I told you that as x is tending to infinity, sin of x square oscillates between -1 to +1. Because it takes finite value only, but it always oscillates between -1 to +1. But whereas x power alpha beta plus 2, it depends on the power of x here, whether this tends to infinity or 0. Now, what do I do for these two terms? Log x to the base e whole power alpha and log of 1 plus x to the base e whole power beta. So for this, what I do now? Limit x is tending to infinity. You keep this as it is. Log x to the base e whole power alpha by x power alpha beta plus 2. So this can be written as, you can take x common, x into 1 by x plus 1. This can be written as limit x is tending to infinity, sin of x square by x power alpha beta plus 2 into log x to the base e whole power alpha by, this is like log of a into b, which can be written as log a plus log b. So log x to the base e plus, so log of 1 by x plus 1 whole to the power of beta. Okay. So now, if I do this, this is going to be limit So this can be written as limit so this is going to be limit so this can be written as limit x is tending to infinity, sin of x square, okay, this goes to log x to the base e by taking log x to the base e common, which comes out with the power beta. What is the keep? Yes. Log x to the base e to the power of alpha minus beta, and this goes to 1 whole power beta. This goes to 1. This is going to be x power alpha beta plus 2. So clearly, now finding the values of alpha and beta, but this limit has to be 0 already. So this limit has to be 0. So clearly, this is to be 0. Your alpha beta plus 2 has to be positive and alpha minus beta has to be negative. So by considering these two here, that is to be 0, alpha beta plus 2 has to be positive and alpha minus beta has to be negative. So now you pick up the options here. So first option, if alpha is -1, beta is 3, this is going to be how much? And this is same as saying what? Alpha beta is greater than -2. If alpha is -1, beta is 3, this is going to be -3. Is -3 is greater than -2? No. So option A is wrong. Okay, and option B, -1 comma +1, -1 is alpha, +1 is beta. Clearly -1 into +1 is -1, which is greater than -2. Yes, it satisfies. So -1 greater than -2. Also, I should verify whether this option satisfies this in equation also. So if alpha is -1 and beta is 1, -1 minus 1, which is going to be -2 is less than 0, yes, it satisfies. So therefore, I found that one of the option B is correct. One of the option B is correct. Okay, so then what about C? If I choose alpha is 1 and beta is -1, this is alpha is 1 and beta is -1, this is going to be -1 is greater than -2, that is correct only. But whereas if I put alpha is -1 and beta is alpha is +1 and beta is -1, this is going to be 2, is 2 is less than 0, that is wrong. So option C is wrong. And then what about option D? 1 comma -2. Obviously -2 is greater than -2, that is actually wrong. So only one of the right option is going to be B. Okay. So next, a straight line is drawn from the point P 1 comma 3 comma 2 parallel to the line x minus 2 by 1 is equal to y minus 4 by 2 is equal to z minus 6 by 1, and that intersects the plane x minus y plus 3z is 6. At what point? At Q. And there is another straight line which passes through Q and is perpendicular to the first plane, which intersects this plane at what point? At R. So then he is asking us to find the true statements among these four. So what is the first statement? The length of the line segment PQ is √6. Means already we know the point P, but Q we don't know. We have to find the point Q, which is on this plane L1. So once if I find the point Q, then finding PQ is so easy. Then go to the next option. The coordinates of R are 1 comma 6 comma 3. I have to verify. Where is actually R? The straight line passing through Q and perpendicular to this plane L1, intersecting the plane L2 at what point? R. So I have to find the coordinates of R. After finding the coordinates of R, I have to verify whether the coordinates are 1 comma 6 comma 3 or not. And then the centroid of the triangle PQR. Students, already P is given, Q we have to find, R we have to find. So having 3 points with us, finding centroid is so easy. Okay, and we just verify whether the centroid is going to be this one or not. And the perimeter of the triangle PQR is √2, √6, √2 plus √6 plus √11. Already we are with PQR. We just find PQ, QR and RP, and we add all of them and we verify whether that sum is going to be this quantity or not. Now first let me find the point Q. What is the point Q? How we get that point Q? There is a line passing through which point? 1 comma 3 comma 2. So let L be the line which is passing through the point 1 comma 3 comma 2. So let me write the equation of the line L in 3D form, in Cartesian form. It can be written as x minus 1 by the ratios. DRs have to consider. Since this line L is parallel to this line, then the DRs of this line can be taken as the DRs of the line which is parallel to that. So then x minus 1 by 1 is equal to y minus 3 by 2 is equal to z minus 2 by 1. So let's say these ratios are equal to lambda. Let's say these ratios are equal to lambda. So now then I can get a general point on this line L. So from here x is lambda plus 1, y is 2 lambda plus 3, z is lambda plus 2. Therefore the general point Q, let that be the general point Q is that lambda plus 1 comma 2 lambda plus 3 comma lambda plus 2. But this has to be lie on the plane L1. So L1 means what is given? X minus y plus 3z is equal to 6. So that means lambda plus 1 minus 2 lambda minus 3, 3z. This is going to be 3 lambda plus 6 is equal to 6. So therefore, plus 6 gets cancelled on both sides. Clearly, this is going to be 2 lambda is equal to 2. Therefore, lambda is equal to 1. Lambda is equal to 1. So for this value of lambda is equal to 1, we get the point Q. Therefore, the point Q is 2, 5, 3. Yes, I got the point Q only. I got the point Q which is 2, 5, 3. Now, similarly, I have to find the point R. How to get the point R? There is another straight line which is passing through the point Q. Yes, there is a straight line which is passing through the point Q and which is perpendicular to the first plane. Okay? So, let that be L dash. L dash is the line passing through Q. So, what are the coordinates of Q? 2, 5, 3. X minus 2. Since this line is perpendicular to the plane L1, the drs of its normal must be, the normal to this plane must be parallel to the line L dash. So they must be having same direction ratios. So then what are the drs of the normal to this plane? 1, minus 1, 3. So let me consider those drs only for this line. X minus 2 by 1 is equal to y minus 5 by minus 1 is equal to z minus 3 by 3. Let this be mu. So from here x will be mu plus 2, y is minus mu plus 5, z is 3 mu plus 3. Okay? So therefore let this be the point, general point on L dash is R, mu plus 2 comma minus mu plus 5 comma 3 mu plus 3, which lies on the second plane. So 2x minus y plus z is equal to minus 4. So on substituting these x, y, z values into this plane, we get 2 mu plus 4 minus into minus plus mu minus 5 plus z, which is going to be 3 mu plus 3 is equal to minus 4. So this is going to be 6 mu. This is how much only? Plus 2 is equal to minus 4. Therefore, 6 mu is minus 6. Then mu is equal to minus 1. So what is the point R? Therefore, the point R is 1, 6, 0. Clearly, students, we found the coordinates of R 1 comma 6 comma 0. But it is given in the third option that the in the second option, the coordinates of R are 1 comma 6 comma 3. So option B is wrong. Now I have with me P. What is P? 1 comma 3 comma 2. And I also have Q. What is that? 2 comma 5 comma 3. Then what is actually PQ? Under root of 2 minus 1 whole square, which is 1. 5 minus 3 whole square, which is 4. 3 minus 2 whole square, which is 1, which is root 6. Yes. The length of the line segment PQ is how much only? Root 6. Yes, first option is correct. What about the third one? Centroid. I have coordinates of P and Q, and in the next slide I have coordinates of R. So find the centroid. 1 plus 2 plus 1. 4 by 3 centroid. And then 3 plus 5 plus 8 plus 6, 14 by 3. And then 2 plus 3, 5 plus 0 by 3, 5 by 3. Yes. What is the centroid which is given? 4 by 3 comma, 14 by 3 comma, 5 by 3. Yes, this is going to be right option. And now we have PQ. Let me find QR. So QR is under the root of QR. Q is here, R is here. 2 minus 1 whole square, which is 1, plus 5 minus 6 whole square, which is plus 1, and this is 3 minus 0, which is 9. Therefore this is going to be root 11. And PR, we have the point P is 1 comma 3 comma 2, so this is 0 plus 9 plus 4, which is root 13. Therefore adding up all of them, PQ plus QR plus RP is root 6 plus root 11 plus root 13. Therefore, option D is wrong. So what are the right options, Andy? A and C. Is it okay? Then, next we move to the seventh problem. Let A1, B1, C1 be 3 points in the XY plane. Suppose that the lines A1, C1 and B1, C1 are tangents to this curve. Actually, this is a parabola whose vertex at origin, which is actually open rightward parabola, at A1 and B1. So, what did he say? A1, C1 and A1, C1 and B1, C1 are tangents to this curve at what point? A1 and B. So it means that on this parabola A1 and B1 are 2 points at which tangents are drawn at A1 and B1. So both tangents, one tangent is at A1, the other tangent is at B1, but both tangents to the same parabola are intersecting at what? C1, because in these two tangents we have a common point which is actually C1. Yes. Now let me draw this. Suppose if this is a parabola, y square is equal to 8x. Y square is equal to 8x. Let this be A1. So in generally A1 is actually what only? Suppose A T1 square comma 2A T1. But from here 4A is 8, then A is 2. So this is going to be A1 is 2 T1 square comma 4 T1. So this is 2 T1 square comma 4 T1. And let this be B1. So this is going to be 2T2 square comma 4T2. Similarly, for a different parameter T2. Now, let me draw a tangent to the parabola at A1 and draw a tangent to the parabola at B1. And the point of intersection of those two tangents is given as what? C1. But also given with C1 is what only? Minus 4 comma 0. means which is a point on the x-axis, which is the axis of the parabola. So now it means that suppose C is located here, minus 4 comma 0, C1 is located here. You draw a tangent to this parabola passing through C1 and tangent to the parabola passing through C1. Okay. Now from here we know that if two tangents are intersecting at a point in the plane, what is the formula we have for point of intersection of tangents? We have A into T1 T2 comma A times of T1 plus T2. This is actually geometric mean of the x coordinates of those 2 points A1 and B1 and the arithmetic mean of y coordinates of those 2 points. So here A is 2 and so 2 T1 T2 comma 2 times of T1 plus T2. So this must be equal to minus 4 comma 0, which is actually given. So on comparing 2 T1 T2 is minus 4, 2 times of T1 plus T2 is 0. So T1 T2 is minus 2, T1 plus T2 is 0, so then it can be written as T2 is minus T1. On substituting here, minus T1 square is equal to minus 2, therefore T1 square is equal to 2, then T1 is root 2. If T1 is root 2, then T2 is minus root 2. So I found the values of T1 and T2. So with these values of T1 and T2, I will come to know what are the coordinates of the points A1 and B1. So what are the coordinates of A1 and B1 and D? So the coordinates of A1 becomes T1 is root 2. This is 2, 4, comma 4 root 2. And B 2 T2 square. What is actually T2? Minus root 2. So this is again 4 minus 4 root 2. It means that we found that x coordinates of both points are same, means these 2 points are along the line which is parallel to x axis. It means that this is perpendicular to the axis of the parabola. Means it can be considered as a double ordinate. Because a chord of the parabola which is perpendicular to axis is called a double ordinate. Okay? Now, so whose length of this double ordinate is clearly 2 times of the y coordinate of this point, which is going to be 8 root 2. 8 root 2. Okay? So, but it is given that the length of the line segment A1, B1 is how much only? 16. So, option B is wrong. And next, yes, I have with me A1 and here the coordinates of the vertex are 0, 0 origin. So, OA1 is nothing but clearly under root of 16 plus 32, this is going to be in a root of 48, this is 4 root 3, yes, this, the length of the line segment OA1 is 4 root 3. Now finally, I have to find the orthocenter of the triangle A1, B1, C1, okay. Now only one of the options is going to be correct only because it can't be orthocenter is 0, 0 and 1, 0 for the same triangle, only one of the orthocenter is going to be there. So either option C or option D is going to be correct only. So let me go back to the diagram which I drawn. So clearly, since it is a double ordinate, this is perpendicular to the axis of it and which is passing through C1. So this, let this be Cn. C1n is altitude to the side A1, B1. But to find the orthocenter, enough to draw or enough to find the equation of another altitude to any one of the sides, any one of the other 2 sides. Okay. So suppose let me find altitude to the side A1, C1 which is drawn from B1. Of course, B1, what are the coordinates of B1? 4 comma minus 4 root 2. So, to find the equation of the altitude through B1 to the side A1 C1, I need to take the slope of A1 C1 and taking negative sign of reciprocal of that slope, it is going to be slope of the altitude to the side A1 C1. So, what is slope of A1 C1 here? Slope of A1 C1 is, this is minus 4, A1 C1 is 4 root 2 minus 0, which is 4 root 2 by, this is 4 minus of minus 4, which is going to be 8, this is 1 by root 2. Then what would be slope of altitude to A1 C1, which is going to be minus root 2. Therefore, equation of altitude to A1 C1 is equal to y minus, because you are drawing from where? From the point B1, 4 comma minus 4 root 2. So, which is plus 4 root 2 is equal to minus root 2 into x minus 4. So, it can be written as y plus 4 root 2 is equal to minus root 2x plus 4 root 2. These two gets cancelled. Therefore, root 2x plus y is equal to 0. So, means which is passing through O 0 comma 0 origin, which is actually passing through what? O 0 comma 0. Now, yes, the altitude through B1 to the side A1 C1 is passing through origin. So clearly, one of the altitude is NC1, the other altitude is B1 M. So these two are intersecting at what point? O 0 comma 0. Therefore, the point of intersection of altitudes is going to be defined as what? Orthocenter. So finally, so the orthocenter comes as 0 comma 0. So finally, the orthocenter comes as 0 comma 0. Okay. So thank you, students. So section 3 and section 4, my colleague is going to teach. So thank you.
Are you bored of typical online classes that don't cater to your unique learning needs? Introducing our Hydrazine program, online learning, offline tower sessions. With HyFlex, convenience is on your side. With HyFlex, flexibility is on your side. With HyFlex, engaging classes are on your side. With HyFlex, accessibility is on your side. With HyFlex, stress-free learning is on your side. Step into the future of learning with our HyFlex program. What are you waiting for? Join HyFlex now and say hi to our experts in JEE, NEET and Foundation coaching.
Yeah, so welcome back again. So from here, I am going to start the section 3 and section 4 in Mathematics JEE paper 2, right? So let's discuss about the 8th question in section number 3. So we have integer type of question. So what is given here? So f of x plus phi equals to f of x plus f of y. And there is one more function, g of x plus y equals to g of x into g of y. And he is asking some relation about f of 1 by 4 and g of minus 2. So let's try to understand over here. I'll just do it over here only. So by looking at this equation, what do we understand by f of x? So direct question is, the function which satisfies this relation is nothing but a linear function, f of x equal to kx. And one information is given to us. So let's use that to get k. So f of minus 3 by 5 is 12, right? So what is f of 3 by 5 minus 3 by 5 minus 3 by 5? So this is given as 12. So minus 3k by 5. So what is the k value over here? So it's minus 20. So therefore we got this f of x as minus 20x. Now let's look at the g of x. So which function satisfies this condition? Observe carefully. The function is nothing but in the form of exponential function. A power x you can tell. So let's use this information to get the base value. So g of minus 1 by 3 is given as 2. So substitute it. So g of minus 1 by 3 is actually, so g of minus 1 by 3 according to this equation is a power minus 1 by 3, and this is given as 2. So 2 equals to a power minus 1 by 3. So a power minus 1 is going to be 8. So you get a equals to 1 by 8. So what is this g of x function? G of x is 8 power minus x, can I tell? Yes. You have g of x, you have f of x. Then just substituting the values, you are going to get the solution. So what is f of 1 by 4? So f of 1 by 4 is minus 20 times x, right? So minus 20 times 1 by 4. So this is minus 5. What about g of minus 2? So g of minus 2 is 8 power minus of minus 2, 64. So what is g of 0? What is g of 0? G of 0 is simply 8 power 0, that is 1. So we can get the value directly from here. F of 1 by 4 minus 5 plus g of minus 2, 64, and then minus 8 overall into 1. So here you can check how much you are going to get the answer. 64 minus 30, you get the answer as 51. So the answer is going to be 51. So this is the basic direct question. So only the function which satisfies the condition you have to identify, rest of the things are very simple. So next let's move on to the 9th question. So here this question says a bag is containing n balls, out of which 3 are white, 6 are green, and remaining all are blue. Remaining all are blue. Here he is asking us to consider they are identical. Then 3 balls are randomly drawn without replacement, right? Without replacement, now the probabilities are going to change. So now, what is the question? The question is regarding P of W1 intersection G2 intersection B3. What is the meaning of this? So in the first draw, we have to get a white ball. In the second draw, we have to get a green ball. And the third draw, we have to get a blue ball. So what is the probability for all of them happening at a time? So that is given as 2 by 5n. So n is unknown, we are going to find that. And to solve this, one information is also given to us. P of conditional probability. So let's try to use the given formula. So we know the conditional probability formula. Let me try to write. What is this? P of W1 intersection G2 intersection B3. All of them simultaneously happening. So what is happening? What is the first event that is happening? So W1, that means let us take the probability of taking W1. Now after taking white ball first, now the probability of the second ball will change, right? Because this is without replacement. So what you have to write? Probability of G2. You cannot write directly G2. We write G2 after happening of W1. First event has already happened. Now first and second events happened. 2 balls we have drawn. Then third one when we are taking. Third one we have to take B3. That means blue ball you have to draw it third time. So next we are going to take B3 after W1 intersection G2. That means after happening of the W1 and G2. What is the probability of B3? So now you can try to check. So this is given as 2 by 5n. Now what is the probability of drawing a white ball in the first place? White ball in the first place, can you see that in a bag there are 3 white balls and 6 green balls and remaining blue balls. There are n balls total. So what will be the probability of drawing white ball from n balls? So 3 out of n. You write 3 out of n. Right? Next, this probability you can try to write P of G2 after G1, W1. So G2 after W1 means now out of this n balls, 1 ball we have taken out. So after drawing, this becomes now there are 2 white balls and 6 green balls and all the remaining blue balls. Now how many total balls are there? N minus 1 balls. So this is the first draw, this is the second draw. Now for the second draw, what is the probability of drawing the green ball from N minus 1 balls? So 6 out of N minus 1. So you can write 6 out of N minus 1. And this probability B3 after W1 G2, that's given for us already in the question, right? So why don't we replace it? Into 2 by 9. Into 2 by 9. So you can try to simplify this, N you can cancel out, and then 2, you can cancel out 2 actually. Then finally you can check what is the answer you get. So N minus 1 is going out to be, so 9 you can cancel out over here, so it's going to be 10. So what is the N value over here? It's nothing but 11. So total number of balls in the given questions is 11 only. So everything is depending on the conditional probability, only one equation, this equation. So I hope you got the same answer. So let's move on to the next question then. So 10th one. So the question seems so big. So let's try to decode or try to compress this question. So how we can compress this question? So f of x, observe clearly, detailedly. F of x is sin x into x per 2023 plus 2024x plus 2025 whole divided by e power pi x, x square minus x plus 3. And if you observe the second term, in the second term also little bit three things are common. 3 things are exactly common. So directly how we can simplify this? You take those things common outside. 2023, 2024, 2025, into sin x plus 2, right? So we want something about this question, like the number of solutions of f of x equals to 0. So f of x equal to 0, how many solutions it will have? When do you think this function will become 0? It will become 0 when numerator becomes 0, obviously, but not the denominator becomes 0, right? So numerator, when it will become 0? We have 2 options in the numerator. When you look at sin x plus 2, it will never become 0 because sin x is never going less than minus 1. So you can try to understand f of x will be 0, f of x is 0, that implies only when this polynomial x power 2023, 2024x plus 2025 becomes 0. Now when this will happen? Now if you look at this equation, polynomial equation, it is of power 2023, degree is 2023. Now how many solutions it's going to have? It's going to have 2023 total, or exactly how to analyze this. So when the power is too huge, why don't you use our differential calculus to understand about this curve? So let's try to take what is the, let me consider this polynomial as g of x, okay? So let's try to analyze what is happening to this function. So let me understand what is g of x. So that is 2023 x power 2022 plus 2024, that's it. So observe carefully, what can you tell about this expression? So x power 2022 always positive plus 2024 always positive. So derivative of g of x is always positive. So what do we get the idea about g of x? So g of x is always increasing, strictly increasing, I can tell. So you can assume or imagine how a polynomial, if it is strictly increasing, how many roots it will have. How many roots it will have? It will have only one root, right? And the graph also you can draw. So the graph is going to be like this. So there will be only one root. It is crossing x-axis only once. So how many solutions? This equation has only one solution. This equation has one solution means f of x equal to 0 has one solution only. So the same question is we are getting. So therefore we can say only one solution. No other solutions are there. So that's how we can solve. We can simplify f of x to some other g of x function and we can get. And remember, polynomial functions, differential calculus will be helpful for us. So I hope this is also clear, 10th question. So let's move on to the 11th question. So this question, p vector, position vector is given to us, q vector,
where alpha, beta, gamma are some real numbers and some equation is given to you in vectors. You can see that some vector, known vector is given to us, alpha times 2p plus q, beta times p minus 2q, gamma times p cross q. I hope this is a very direct question because p, q are directly given to us. So all you have to do is solve only. This kind of question is like a basic, you can tell blessing only, like basic question we got. So let's see what is this 2p plus q. 2p plus q, you can try to understand. 4 plus 1, 5 I cap plus you are doing, right? So 2j minus j. So plus j, 6 plus 1, you are getting 7k. This is 2p plus q. Then p minus 2q. So let's see what is that. P minus 2q. P minus 2q you have to do. So 2 minus 2, you are getting 0 times I cap. Done. So j minus of 2, so you are getting minus j. So 3 minus 2, so you will get plus j, plus k. Next finally p cross q. So what is p cross q? So we can use it, we can get it by determinant I, j, k. First p coefficients you can take 2, 1, 3 and then q coefficients minus 1, minus 1, 1. Let's see what we are getting. I cap into, you get 1 plus 3, so that is 4 minus j cap into 2 minus 3, you are getting minus 1, then k cap into, so that is minus 2 minus 1, you are getting minus 3. So this is p cross q. It's coming out to be 4 I cap plus j cap minus 3k cap. So we got all the three vectors, right? So let's try to equate both of them. So given is 15 I cap plus 10 j cap plus 6k cap, right? So this is equal to alpha times this vector, beta times this vector and gamma times this vector. So we can focus on these three vectors only, 1, 2 and 3. So let's take the coefficients all at a time. So you will get 5 alpha plus, anyways this is 0, this is 4 into gamma. 4 into gamma, this times I cap. So next, j cap coefficients, alpha times 1 minus beta. So alpha minus beta, then last coefficient multiplied with gamma. So that is plus gamma times j cap. Next what do we have? 7 times alpha, then 1 time beta and minus 3 times gamma. Minus 3 gamma times k cap you are going to get. K cap you are going to get. So I think I went to the next question. Yes. So you can compare the coefficients. Plus 4 gamma is 15. Then you have beta plus gamma equals to 10. Then we have 7 alpha plus beta minus 3 gamma is 6. So you can directly understand there are 3 equations and 3 unknowns. We can directly solve them. So if you can solve these 3 equations and 3 unknowns, we will get out to be some 7 by 5, beta equals to 11 by 5, gamma equals to 2. So we can solve this, not a big issue. So after getting this alpha, beta and gamma, he is just asking you the value of gamma only. So the answer is going to be 2. So that's how we can solve this 11th question. I hope this is also a very basic question, simple one only. So let's move on to the question number 12. What do we have here? So a normal with slope 1 by root 6 is drawn from a point 0 comma minus alpha to the parabola x square equal to minus 4ay. So we know x square equal to minus 4ay is an open downward parabola. For that, at this point one normal is drawn with a slope 1 by root 6. So next, let's try to understand this properly. Next, what is the information we have? And the line is passing through 0 comma minus alpha parallel to the directrix. Let's see the figure over here. Open downward parabola we can draw. So x square equal to minus 4ay, x axis, y axis. And where is this point? 0 comma minus alpha, somewhere over here, we don't know. It's not the focus, but it's some point over here. And from this we are drawing a normal with slope 1 by root 6. Maybe something like this you are drawing a normal, right? with some slope. Now, one line you are drawing parallel to the directrix of the parabola. How the directrix for this parabola exists? This is the directrix, right? So, parabola, we have to draw a line parallel to the directrix. So, this is how he is mentioning about the line, and this line intersects the parabola at A and B. So, let us take this point as A and let us take this point as B. Let R denote the length of lattice rectum and S denote the square of length of line segment. So, let me write here what is R here. Length of lattice rectum for any parabola is 4 times A if it is in standard form. So, you can tell what is S. What is S? He is just saying square of the length of the line segment AB. So, that is AB length whole square. Then R by S ratio is also given to us, 1 by 16. So, then what do we have to find? We have to find the value of 24A. So, in this entire situation, we have to find the relation between alpha, A and all. So, we will try to use this R by S. That means we have to know A, we have to get what is AB length. Let us try to see how to get that. So, first there is a slope 1 by root 6 for the line drawn, right, and that is the normal. So, this information how we can use? Let us start writing the normal equation. Let us start writing the normal equation. Normal equation with slope m equals to 1 by root 6. So, the equation is y equal to mx minus 2a minus a by m square. This equation is for x square equal to minus 4ay. So, all the normal equations we have to remember. So, that way I have written the normal equation directly. Now, replace that 1 by root 6, we will get y equal to, no, actually this is passing through, we have seen, right, it is passing through 0 comma minus alpha. So, you can just replace that only y equal to minus alpha, right. Let me just is it right now. Okay, so this is minus alpha equals to 0 minus 2a times minus a by m square. M square is actually 1 by 6. So, what is minus alpha? You get it as minus 2 minus 6, so it's minus 8a. So, you got one relation between alpha and a. So, now let us try to write what is the distances, okay. Now, if I write the lattice rectum distance, lattice rectum, so that is anyways 4a. If you want to write it in terms of alpha, you will write 4 times a. What is a? Alpha by 8. So, you will get as alpha by 2. So, lattice rectum length is given as r, right. So, you take this as r. Now, let us find what is s. S is AB whole square. So, AB whole square means it is the length of this particular thing. So, this line, can you see this line parallel to x-axis? What is the equation? Y equal to minus alpha. Y equal to minus alpha, where it is intersecting the parabola. You can just substitute and get the value, right. So, let us substitute and get the value. A and B. We are finding now A and B. So, y equal to minus alpha you have to put in x square equal to minus 4a into y. So, let us try to solve this. X square equal to minus 4 times a. What is a? You completely write in terms of alpha into y. So, y is going to be minus alpha. So, x square is nothing but, so you get alpha square by 2. So, what is this x? Plus or minus alpha by root 2. So, the x coordinates of these 2 points are, so let us take a, that is going to be alpha by root 2. Y coordinate is anyways alpha. What is b? Alpha by root 2 minus and minus alpha you can take, right. So, what is the AB length? Just the distance or the difference between their x coordinates. So, how much you are getting? That is going to be 2 times alpha by root 2 anyways. So, this is root 2 times alpha. So, what is AB square? That is 2 times alpha square. So, that is S. So, what is the value of S we got? This is the first one, and the second one is AB square. We got it as 2 alpha square, which is S 2 alpha square. Now, we are just about to get the value of alpha also. So what is R by S? It's given in the question itself. It's 16. So R by S, you can write down R by S. So 1 by 2 alpha square, that is 1 by 16. So how much you're going to get? 4. So alpha is going to be 4. So what is A value? What is A value? Alpha is 4, A is going to be 1 by 2. A is going to be 1 by 2. So finally the question is 24 times A, not alpha. So A is half, 24 into A is going to be 12. So that's the answer. So here only we have used the normal equation once. That's the only basic thing, and then remaining AB, to find AB we have just substituted. So that's how we can solve this question. So next, let's move on to the next question then. So 13th one. So here this question says f of t is from minus 1 whole power n plus 1 into 2 if t equals to 2n minus 1, where n is a natural number. What is this 2n minus 1? It means that whenever t is an odd number, it will take, the function will take the value minus 1 power n plus 1 into 2. In between the odd numbers, the next one is 2n minus 1 to 2n plus 1. So when it is odd, it is taking this value. Between the odd numbers, it is taking this value. And how that exists? So you can try to understand all here. So we have to simplify this f of t, let's do that. And then next, g of x function is also given to us. 1 to x f of t dt. So if we can simplify f of t, then only we can find g of x. And the question is, how many number of solutions of g of x equal to 0? No doubt we have to find f of t, we have to simplify f of t. So let's try to start simplifying f of t. Now, so what we can write f of t as, in between the integers if you want. So let's try to understand over here. It's actually minus 1 whole power n plus 1 into 2 whenever it is an odd number, and if it is between the odd numbers, it's written as 2n plus 1 minus t by 2 times f of 2n minus 1. Now what is f of 2n minus 1? The function value when t is 2n minus 1, it's already given, that is minus 1 power n plus 1 into 2. Done. Next we have t minus 2n minus 1 by 2 into f of 2n plus 1. If you can understand properly, f of 2n plus 1 is the next odd number, right? So whenever it is an odd number, it is taking these values. Let's try to say, suppose n equal to 1. So t is going to be 1. Now that means f of 1 is going to be, if you can substitute n equal to 1, we are going to get plus 2. Now n equal to 2. So t is the next odd number. So what is f of 3? The next odd number. So it is going to be minus 2. So that means for the first odd number, if it is plus 2, then immediate next odd number it is going to be minus 2. So what you can try to write over here? Just the immediately next odd number. So you can multiply with minus 1 or you can reduce also, but let me add one more minus 1 over here. That's it. So this is whenever it is from in between the odd numbers. This is exactly when it is a odd number. Right. If you can simplify this second one also, let's try to see f of t between the odd numbers. So it's going to be, so 2n plus 1 minus t by 2, or we can take common, right? So just we can simplify more better way. So I'll take minus 1 whole power n plus 1 into 2 common. So rest of the thing will come out to be 2n, 4n will be there, and then by 2, so it is again 2n only, then minus t, 2t, so minus t you are going to get. So that's it. So this is going to be the f of t whenever t is between two odd numbers. Okay. Now let's try to write what is g of x now. G of x is very complicated. So we have this f of t between the integers, right? So g of x is defined from 1 to infinity, but f function is taking from like 1 to infinity. They are asking you the solutions in 1 to 8 only. So we don't have to consider more than 8. So let's try to split the g of x function. If we are splitting the g of x function, first starting from 1. to the next integer 3, odd integer 3. So from 1 to 3, how you are going to write g of x? So g of x is 1 to x, f of x. So what is that f of x? So here x is 1 to 3 means you have to take n equals to 1 here. Put n equals to 1 and simplify what we are getting. We are getting 2 into 2 minus t dt. This is the function. Next, when it is from 3 to 5, in this case n equal to 2 you have to put, then only we will get 3 to 5 integers, right? Then here g of x is actually starting from 1 to x. Now x is from 3 to 5, but the lower limit is 1. You have to be careful. So you have to always start from 1. So 1 to 3 already we have, right? 1 to 3 already the function is 2 times 2 minus 2 dt. Then now we'll start from 3 to x. For 3 to x n equal to 2. Here if you put n equal to 2, you are going to get minus 2 times 6 minus t dt. Right? So like that we have to keep on solving. For example, if you want to write the next one, you have to write 1, 2, 3, the same function again. Then 3 to 5, this function dt, and then finally 5 to x. 5 to x you have to put n equal to 3 here. So we get 2 into n equals to 3. Actually this is 4. You are getting 4 here. The next time you will get 6 minus t dt. This is when x is from 5 to 7. Here n equal to 3. Similarly 1, 2, 3, 2 into 2 minus t dt. So comparatively to all the questions, this is little bit lengthy. If you work out, then only you are finally going to get the solution. Otherwise this is tricky only. Then 5 to 7, you can simply write 6 minus t dt, and then 7 to x. So finally you have to place n equal to 4, so that will be minus 2 times 8 minus t dt. So from 7 to 9, but we have to close it at 8, right? Because we are considering only till 8. This is when n equals to 4. So then what we have to do, you have to keep on simplifying all these integral values. So here these are definite integrals, and for these you will be getting in terms of x, right? So after solving also, after solving them, we will be getting g of x in terms. I will just let you know how we are going to get the final form of this g of x. So here I am writing, so g of x equal to, you will get minus x minus 1 into x minus 3, x minus 3 into x minus 5, x minus 5 into x minus 7. You can just cross check, x minus 7 into x minus 1. This is from x belongs to 1 to 3, x belongs to 3 to 5, x belongs to 5 to 7, x belongs to 7 to 9. That's it. Now this is g of x, and the question is how many solutions are there for g of x equal to 0. It's straight away question. G of x will be 0 when x equal to 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, right? But which interval you are considering for g of x function? You have to consider only from, where is that? In the interval 1 to 8. X belongs to 1 to 8. So therefore how many values of x we can have? 3, 5, 7. Only 3 values we are getting. So how many solutions? Only 3 solutions are there. Now that means what is the value of alpha? 3. Therefore alpha is going to be 3. So half portion is done. More than half I can tell you. So beta equals to limit x tends to 1 g of x. So x tends to 1 means you have to take this function, this value of g of x. When x is closer to 1, that is the function. So by x minus 1, the g of x value when x tends to 1 is going to be 2 only. Direct question, right? So beta is 2. So you don't have to worry much about this beta. So you have beta and alpha, alpha plus beta is going to be 5. That's the answer. So only here little bit simplification part is there about f of x. That's it. So this was a lengthy question. So that's it. Let's move on to the next question. The next question is going to be the last section, that is paragraph questions, right? So paragraph questions we have, paragraph 1 is given. Let's try to analyze what is given here. There is a set of numbers 1 to 6 and x be the set of relations from S to S. set of relations he is asking that is satisfying both these questions, both these conditions. So what is X? X is not all the relations. Out of all the relations which will satisfy these two conditions, only those relations are in the set X. So now, what are those conditions? That relations, that set should have only 6 elements. That relation, whatever out of all relations, only 6 elements containing relations only will be in set X. Next, whatever the pairs you are having in that relation, they should satisfy this condition also. Only 6 elements, and into that 6 elements, each pair should satisfy this condition. So that is going to be the set X. Now what is given? Another set is given, Y. Range of X has exactly one element. That means out of all possible relations in the set X only again, range should be exactly one element. So let's try to find out that also. Z is given, again the relations from X only, where it is a function from S to S. Out of those relations, how many functions are there? This is again. So in order to find Y and Z, you have to first of all analyze how many relations are there in X. So let's try to understand this. For 14th question, that's the first question, and this is also n of x equal to MC6, then the value of m. That means he's asking the number of elements in the set X only. So the question starts now. Let's try to solve how many elements are there in set X. Okay. So first of all, how many relations will satisfy? There should be a pair. There should be an element a comma b in a relation that satisfies this condition, right? And we know that a comma b, all of them will belong to the set like 1, 2, so until 6 only, right? So I don't have to write this. So let's take cases one by one. If I take a equal to 1, what are the possible values of 2? The difference should be greater than or equals to 2. So b starts from 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 order pairs we can form. Now if a equals to 2, how many order pairs we can get? So it cannot be 1, it cannot be 3 also. So it can be 5, 4, 5 and 6. Now a equal to 3. Now what are the possible values of b? Now b can be 1 also because modulus of the difference is 2, right? So 1, next it cannot be 4, it can be 5 and 6. Next, if a equal to 4, what are the possible values of b? So 1 or 2, it cannot be 3, 4, 5, the next one is 6. A equals to 5, the possible values of b. So 1, 2, 3, that's it. Then a equal to 6, possible values of b are 1, 2, 3 and 4 again. So total how many order pairs we are forming? How many order pairs? Ordered pairs. So 4 here, 3 here, that is 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 6. Here there are 3, here there are 3, here there are 3, here there are 4. So overall how many are there? 20 order pairs are there. First of all, out of all order pairs, 20 order pairs are satisfying this relation, right? But in X, which type of relations will be there? The relations containing only exactly 6 elements. Now out of all these order pairs, 20 order pairs, you take any 6 order pairs, they will satisfy the condition obviously, right? So for set X, you have to take any 6 from this 20. So that is 20 C6 relations are there in X. So obviously what is the value of m here then? It's going to be 20. So that's the answer for 14th one. Anyways, we have solved X. Let's go on to solve Y and Z. Let's see another question in this paragraph 1, 15th question. So it asks number of elements in Y, number of elements in Z. So we have to find out that. Now what are the number of elements that are there in Y? So again out of those 20 order pairs only, right? Because relation belongs to set X. The range of R has exactly one element. Let's try to understand this. Out of all these order pairs, possible order pairs are these only. Now range should be only 1. That means let's suppose say one relation is there. I want the range to be out of all these. Range means the second element, right? So let's suppose I want the range to be only 3. So how many order pairs I can form? So maybe 1, 3 is there. Then 5, 3, 6, 3. Only 3 pairs you are able to find. But that relation won't belong to So let's see, for example, I'm writing this. Next 5 comma 3 and 6 comma 3. This is a relation, but this relation does not belong to X. You cannot form a relation having 6 elements. Similarly, if you take B equal to 4, are you able to find 6 elements? 1, 2, 3. Only 3 pairs you are going to get. So that is also not a proper relation. 5, so 1, 5, 2, 5, 3, 5. So only 3 order pairs we are getting. We are not getting 6 elements, 6 order pairs. Then with 6 also we don't have. Maximum we are getting is 4 only. That means if we want the range to be 1 element, we are getting a maximum number of elements in a relation is 4. But which type of relations we are considering? The relations containing 6 elements. So what we can say? No such relations exist. And this is regarding Y. So therefore what do you say? Number of elements in this set is 0. Straight away question. Now let's see. So we got this answer as 0. Now we have to find n of z. What is this z? R is a function from S to S. Now you can see all the order pairs are like this only, no? So now function means, first of all, in the first set all the elements should be mapped. So for 1, how many options we have? So here I can write for z. For 1 there are 4 options. So how many functions means, this is how we will consider, right? Number of options we have for each and every element in the first set. For first set, first element we have 4 options. Next, second element has only 3 options. Third element has 3 options. Then fourth element also has 3 options. Fifth element 3 options. And finally, last element has 4 options, right? So these many functions exist. For all, out of all relations, these many functions are existing. So that is n of z is going to be, you can try to see here, 9 into 4, 36 whole square. This is n of z. So let's move on to this question back. So n of z is going to be 36 whole square plus 0, that is k square. So obviously what is the value of k then? 36. So at a time if you are solving them, 2 questions we have solved, n of y, n of z, right? So this is the paragraph 1 question based on the relations, sets and relations only. Then let's move on to the final paragraph, paragraph 2. So last 2 questions of this final paper 2. So what is given in this question? Let's see. Function is mapping from 0 to pi by 2, 0 comma pi by 2 to 0 comma 1. That is defined as sine square x. F of x is defined as sine square x. What is g of x? It is also mapping from 0 comma pi by 2 to 0 to infinity. But function g of x is defined like root of pi x by 2 minus x square. So let's see what is the question. 2 times 0 to pi by 2 f of x g of x, 0 to pi by 2 g of x dx. So completely we have to solve this definite integral. So now let's try to understand about this one, 0 to pi by 2. Let's solve the 16th one. Now I'll consider the first integral as I1. So what is this I1? 2 times 0 to pi by 2 f of x into g of x dx. Now if you are not having any idea in definite integrals, the very first step what we have to do is you can use the King's property, right? So you can use the King's property. Let's try to use this. So what is King's property? 0 to pi by 2, same function you have to write a plus b minus 2 minus x. So g of pi by 2 minus x dx. So what is this pi by 2 minus x? Let's try to write over here. What is f of pi by 2 minus x? So that is sine square pi by 2 minus x, which is cos square x. Fine. What about g of pi by 2 minus x? Root of pi by 2 into pi by 2 minus x minus pi by 2 minus x whole square. And if you simplify, you can see pi square by 4, pi square by 4 gets cancelled. So ultimately we will get the same function, pi x by 2 minus x square. This is same as g of x actually. Well, let's try to simplify or apply over here. So 2 into 0 to pi by 2, we got this as cos square x into, this is again g of x only, no, anyways, I'll write it as g of x. And in the first place, what is this 0 to pi by 2 f of x g of x? This is sine square x into g of x dx. Let me take it as 1, and this is also same I1 only, right? Let me take it as 2. If you add these 1 and 2, what you are getting? 2I1 equals to 2 times 0 to pi by 2. You can actually take g of x common. Rest of the thing is sine square x plus cos square x, which is 1. We are getting this. So finally, we are ending up I1 equals to I2. That is this. That's it. So I1 is equal to I2. So the in between there is minus sign. So obviously the answer is going to be 0. So it is very simple. We have to get the idea to use the King's property. Without that, we'll go nowhere. Like directly, how do we solve this, right? So the only way out to go in this type of situations is King's property in the definite integrals. So fine, this is done. Let's move on to the last question of this paper. So now the value of 16 by pi cube 0 to pi by 2 f of x g of x, right? Now f of x into g of x, it will be a little bit complicated, you can only understand. Sine square x is there, root is there. But just now we have got one relation or the result, right? That I1 is same as, or you can say that integral f of x g of x dx 0 to pi by 2, 2 times is equal to 0 to pi by 2 g of x dx. So you can write this 2 over here. So instead of finding f of x into g of x so and so, you can just find half times integral g of x. Very simple, right? Because only finding the integral of this is simple. Let's try to find out. 16 by pi cube, so we'll use that also. 16 by pi cube into half times 0 to pi by 2 g of x dx. What is this g of x? We'll write directly. So this g of x is root, we have root of pi by 2x minus x square dx. So we have this one basic integral standard results, a square minus x square dx, right? So what is this? X by 2 root of a square minus x square plus a square by 2 sine inverse x by a. So this standard result we are going to use here. So to use that, this is not exactly in this standard form, right? A square minus x square. So you have to complete square and write down. So let's try to do that. This is going to be 8 by pi cube 0 to pi by 2, and this one, if you solve it, you can complete the square by using this, pi by 4 whole square, pi by 4 minus x whole square dx. We get this. That you can start writing 8 by pi cube. We can apply the limits at later. So this is a, this is x, right? Finally, x is not exactly in the form of, the coefficient of x is minus 1, right? So finally, when we are writing the integral, we have to divide with minus 10. So let me just write that minus 10 over here only. Then we have x by 2 root of a square minus x square, which is this only, right? So we don't have to complicate it. We'll write the simplified form only, plus a square by 2. A square is pi square by 16 by 2. So pi square by 32 into sine inverse of x by a. So we have pi by 4 minus x by pi by 4 from 0 to pi by 2. So this is it by pi cube. So now let's apply the upper limit pi by 2. If you apply, this is going to be 0 anyways. Here you can see this is going to be 0. Then here pi by 2, if you are applying, this is minus 1. So this is pi square by 32 into, so pi by 2 minus you are getting, right? Minus means sine inverse minus 1, that's minus pi by 2 minus. Now applying this lower limit, again this term becomes 0, and here this is going to be pi square by 32 times again pi by 8. Sorry, that's pi by 2. So you can cancel this minus 8 by pi cube. You are getting 2 times pi cube by 32 into 2. So that's how you will get the answer as 1 by 4. So this is the given integral value. So the given question is directly 16 by pi cube, we have written that. So the answer is going to be 1 by 4. So that's it. So paragraph 1 and 2 are okay. Only few 1 or 2 questions are very lengthy. Otherwise the paper was very easy only, I can say easy to moderate type of questions we have seen in section 3 and section 4. So that's it. I hope you have followed all the questions and cross-checked all the answers also. To whoever got the, whoever wrote the paper good, well and good, all the best for your future. Whoever did not write, but you have all the different options also, so you don't have to regret anything. So I'm ending the session over here. Thank you for watching, but stay tuned for the upcoming physics paper discussion after a short break. Thank you all.
Are you bored of typical online classes that don't cater to your unique learning needs? Introducing our high-pitched program, online learning, offline tower sessions. With HyFlex, convenience is on your side. With HyFlex, flexibility is on your side. With HyFlex, engaging classes are on your side. With HyFlex, accessibility is on your side. With HyFlex, stress-free learning is on your side. Step into the future of learning with our HyFlex program. What are you waiting for? Join HyFlex now and say hi to our experts in JEE, NEET and Foundation coaching.
Yeah, hello dear students. This is Naresh and from Knowledge Hub Sri Chaitanya. I hope everyone did very well about JEE Advanced paper. So once again it is proved that it is not that much difficult to get the score in advanced exam. Only the thing is how you understand the question and how the information is interlinking. Okay, that is only the main thing. 2024 physics is easy to moderate. So let us start to discuss about the paper. Okay, thank you. Now, let us see about the first question. A region in the form of an equilateral triangle in XY plane of height L has a uniform magnetic field B bar pointing in the positive Z direction. A conducting loop PQR, observe the diagram also carefully. Here it is a conducting loop PQR in the form of an equilateral triangle of the same height L is placed in the XY plane with its vertex P at x is equal to 0 in the orientation shown in the figure. At t is equal to 0, the loop starts entering in the region of magnetic field with a uniform velocity v along the positive x direction. The meaning is, first let me try to explain complete the theory in the question. Okay, for example, first observe this region. In that region there is a uniform magnetic field which is along positive z direction. Imagine it as out of the plane. Let it be say it is B bar. And now PQR is a triangle. Initially it is located at here where P is at origin. Okay, and the loop itself moves with a velocity v, where that velocity is constant velocity. Okay, that means if you can observe after t seconds, the loop will be like this, and after some more time, it will be like this. So it's keep on moving with constant velocity. That means at a particular time interval t, if you can observe the area of the loop, that can cover the magnetic field is this thick part. Got the point? So the flux can exist only in that region. Clear? So if I can split this region into 3 parts, like here it is one triangle, and 1 second. Yeah. Now, here it is the second part of the triangle, where this part, and here it is first part, and this is the second part. In between that, this is a rectangular part, right? So if you are able to calculate the area of the 3 parts, like 2 triangles and 1 rectangle, then you are able to calculate the flux linked to it. And what is the question? Which of the following graph best depicts the variation of the induced EMF in the loop as function of the distance. Wherever the flux changes, there itself the EMF will be induced. So let it be said the area of the left side triangle A1 and area of the right side triangle A2 and area of the rectangle A3. If you are able to calculate that area, because area is variable here, it is moving with a uniform velocity, and if you derive that, then we will get induced EMF. Based on that, we will get a first option it is. Okay, hope everyone did correct for this question, and let us go for the second question. That is, the particle of mass m is under the influence of a gravitational field of a body of mass capital N. Observe carefully. Under the influence of a gravitational field of mass capital N means, let me say, here it is the mass capital N up to certain region. Let me consider its gravitational field, and a particle of mass small m, which is under the influence of mass capital N. Okay, now continuation. The particle is moving in a circular orbit of radius r0 with a time period t0. You mentioned radius r0 and its time period t0. Generally, what we know the time period, if you can apply the Kepler's third law, whereas t square is proportional to r cube, from that the form is 4 pi square gm into r0 cube. This is the time period. Okay, continuation. Then the particle is subjected to an additional central force. Generally, what we know the concept here, the planet or the mass capital N, whatever it has the force, that acts as a gravitational force. Under the gravitational force, another particle revolves in a circular path. But here, not only that force, some additional force is acted, and that additional force corresponding to the potential energy, which is m alpha upon r cube. Okay, so that additional force has a potential energy which is m alpha upon r cube. So based on this, let me calculate that force. This energy also gives a centripetal force. So that force is nothing but a derivative of the energy d upon dr, which is v of r. So that derivative we got 3 m alpha upon r power 4, and this force plus gravitational attraction force, that is g m1 m2 upon r square. These two forces now combinedly acts as a centripetal force, right? So 3 m alpha upon r0 power 4. That centripetal force is balanced by centrifugal force. Then only the particle can revolve in a circular path. That centrifugal force is mv square upon r0. Let it be said the velocity is v1. Maybe like this, along the tangent direction. It's clear. Now, from this case, let me calculate the f1 value. So r0, the cube times r0 get cancelled, complete the equation. M get cancelled. So from this, the velocity v1 is the square root of gm upon r0 plus 3 alpha upon r0 cube. Achha, now the time period is, let it be say t1. So t1 square is 2 pi r upon speed whole square. So if I can elaborate this, 4 pi square r0 square upon this v1 square. Square and root get cancelled. From that v1 term, let me take gm by r0 as common. Then the remaining term 1 plus 3 alpha upon gm, already one r0 is common, so remaining thing r0 square. Okay, now if I want to take the ratio of these two, because you have to calculate this term, what it is, t1 square minus t0 square upon t1 square. Means individually can divide 1 minus t0 upon t1 here whole square. So I need to know about T0 by T1. So for that, let me divide these two, T0 by T1 whole square, then 4 pi square by Gm, 4 pi square by Gm, get cancelled. This R0 goes to numerator, so R0 cube cancel, and it goes to the numerator. So finally the term is T0 upon T1 whole square should be equal to 1 plus 3 alpha upon Gm R0 square. But we want to calculate 1 minus of this one. So 1 minus on both sides, then 1 get cancelled. Finally the answer is 3 alpha upon Gm R0 square. Okay. So finally the answer is 3 alpha upon Gm R0 square. So here the simple concept is, when a smaller particle revolves in a circular path under the gravitational attraction force of a planet of mass capital M, then the gravitational attraction force itself gives us centripetal force, which is balanced by centrifugal. But to confuse us, this is not only the force based on some another external force. The particle revolves in a circular path. He added this concept, but mechanism is same. What is that? The total net centripetal force should be balanced by centrifugal. From that, calculate speed of the planet. Speed of the particle. After that, time period is 2 pi r by v. Okay, very good. I hope everyone understood this concept. Next one. Third question. A metal target with atomic number 46 is bombarded with a high energy electron beam. Okay. The emission of X-rays. X-rays are emitted from the target is analyzed. Okay, maybe say here it is the target whose atomic number is 46 and an electron beam bombarded with this element so that X-rays are emitted. So say these are X-rays. Okay. The ratio R, what is this ratio? Of wavelengths K alpha line and the cutoff found to be 2. Okay, that means wavelength related, if you can write 1 upon lambda K alpha is R into Z minus 1 into 1 upon N1 square minus 1 upon N2 square. Direct formula related question it is. And the lambda, okay, let me calculate lambda K alpha here. Wavelength for alpha, okay, X-rays. Rubber constant as it is R, here it is 46 minus 1, 45 into 1 minus 1 by 4. That means 3 by 4. So simply 3 by 4 R 45 whole square here. Okay. One sec. Hmm. 45 whole square. So, okay, this is a lambda K alpha first. Second case. Here one point we forget that Z minus 1 whole square. Yeah. Okay, Z minus 1 whole square. Yeah. Z minus 1 whole square. Okay. Yeah. Okay, this question already completed. Yeah, here Z minus 1 whole square we have to. Yeah. Z minus 1 whole square. So 45 whole square. This is the first term. Now second case. If the same electron beam bombards another metal target where Z is 41, then for that case let me say 1 upon lambda K alpha dash, that is equal to R into Z minus 1 means 41 minus 1, 40 square into again 1 minus 1 by 4, 3 by 4. And here R is the ratio for lambda k alpha to lambda L. Where lambda L is a fixed value, that's we know. Okay, let me show that value. R into 3 by 4, I mean reverse case, 1 upon. So 3 by 4, R into 45 whole square. Okay, that's it, and divided by lambda L. Hc upon EV, same potential, whereas Hc is constant. And now let us go for R dash. Lambda k alpha dash, that is R into 40 whole square into 3 by 4, whole divided by again Hc upon EV. And one more information is given that this R is 2. And if I divide these two equations, or you can substitute that unknown terms in R dash, we will get that R dash value is approximately 2.5. So based on that, the option is A, 2.53. Okay, clear? And next, question number 4th one. A thin stuff insulated metal wire is bent in the form of a circular loop. So this is the one. With its two ends extending tangentially from the same point of the loop, right? So like this. The wire loop has a mass m and a radius r, and it is in a uniform vertical magnetic field B naught as shown in figure, where the field value here along positive y-axis. Initially it hangs vertically downward because of the acceleration due to gravity and two conducting supports P and Q. When a current I is passed through the loop turns about the line PQ, okay, at by an angle theta given by. So these are the supports. That means how it can rotate. Initially, let me imagine the loop position will be like this. The loop position will be like this. Now, the hoop, I mean, at the top point is the reference. It is rotated by an angle theta. Here it is the confusion, guys. Everyone choose that theta is the angle between momentum and a field. No, that is a mistake. Here momentum, okay, perpendicular to the plane, and a magnetic field, vertically upward. What is the angle between them? 90 minus theta. Got it? I think some guys did the mistake here. This will be the silly mistake, I think so. Yeah, and now, okay, and yeah, one more point. Yeah. So for the rotation, torque due to the magnetic moment, that is m bar cross b bar. Okay, if this torque supports for rotation, then torque due to the weight gives opposing torque for the rotation. So perpendicular distance r sin theta here, force into perpendicular distance, where magnetic moment is I into A. A is nothing but area of the loop pi r square into B sin 90 minus theta cos theta. That should be equal to mgr sin theta. Both sides r get cancelled. So from this tan theta is equal to I pi r square, pi r into B upon mg. Okay, tan theta is equal to pi r I b naught upon mg. Is nothing but first option, tan theta. Clear, guys? Simple logic here. Torque due to the magnetic moment gives the supporting torque, supporting torque for rotation. Torque due to the weight gives opposing torque for rotation. Equilibrium condition just apply, rotational equilibrium case, okay? And next case, fifth question. A small electric dipole P naught having a moment of inertia I, dipole momentum, moment of inertia about its center is kept at a distance r. If you see the diagram, you can understand. R is the distance from the center to momentum. The center of the spherical shell of the radius capital R, okay? The surface charge density sigma is uniformly distributed on the spherical shell. The dipole is initially oriented at a small angle theta, as shown in the figure, the initial angle theta. While staying at a distance r, the dipole is free to rotate about its center. Now we have to check the options. Dipole will undergo small oscillation case, and angular frequency case. Okay, let me show you the diagram. So it is a charged spherical shell of charge density, say sigma. Already mentioned that information. So it is sigma. And the shell radius is capital R. So dipole is here, whose momentum is P, which makes an angle theta with the vertical. And here, this vertical is the direction of the field. The vertical is the direction of the electric field, right? Yeah. Now, what about the electric field value? Because this distance also is mentioned in the question. Smaller. So, from the center to that point, electric field is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square, where charge is charge density into surface area upon r square, the distance. So 4 pi get cancelled. Simply sigma r square upon epsilon naught r square. Variable electric field, because it depends on small r. And one more point you observe. Inside the spherical shell, what is the field value? 0. Outside, just now we calculated. Okay, now what is asking? The dipole will undergo small oscillations at any finite value of r. That is wrong. Because if the small r is less than capital R, no field, no oscillation. Right? But at any finite value is said. So this will be the wrong option. Second one, dipole will undergo small oscillations at any finite value of r greater than capital R. Very good. So this is the correct point. We accepted this, right? Small r greater than capital R. Now that oscillation angular frequency you are supposed to calculate, right? Then torque due to this electric field is P bar cross E bar, that is nothing but P sin theta. For the smallest angle, let me represent this with P theta, which could be equal to I alpha, where I is the moment of inertia. So let me substitute E value. Sigma r square upon epsilon naught r square into theta should be equal to I alpha. Here it is the minus because restoring torque. From that alpha is minus P sigma r square by epsilon naught r square. Take I to this side, then I epsilon naught r square into theta. So alpha proportional to minus theta, oscillation, and of course that obeys angular system. Clear? Now, at a small r is equal to 2r. Substitute small r is equal to 2r. Then P sigma r square upon I epsilon naught 2r whole square, 4r square. This is in the place of omega square, right? Because alpha is equal to minus omega square theta. As r square cancel, P sigma upon I 4I epsilon naught under root. But here it is not like that, so option is wrong. Let me substitute small r is equal to 10r. Then again, omega is equal to root of P sigma r square upon I epsilon naught 10r whole square means 100 r square. R square will cancel. Root of P sigma by 100 I epsilon naught. Excellent. That option is also correct. So the correct option is B and D. Okay. B and D. Whereas A and C are wrong. It's clear? Yeah. Next. Let's go for the sixth question. A table tennis ball. Radius is given. Mass given. It is slowly pushed down into a swimming pool to a depth of 0.7 meter. Means, observe here. So this is your water level. A spherical ball of radius r is pushed down under water up to the depth of, let it be said D, 0.7 meters. Now what happens due to buoyancy force? It starts to rise up. Okay, surface and the released from rest, it emerges from the water surface at a speed v, means again where it comes back. Okay, again, one more time. Yeah, when it comes back, it rises back with a speed v without getting wet. Without getting wet means neglect surface tension. Neglect surface tension. And rises up to a height of capital H. So it rises up to a height of capital H. And usually we can say that H is V square by 2G. Because under gravity, no? So maximum height. V is constant, already mentioned. Whatever this height, without getting it, and rises to a height H, which of the following options are correct? Now, check here. Work done in pushing the ball to the depth D is, which is downward case. How to calculate that work done? Work done is equal to first option. Force into displacement. Displacement is nothing but depth of 0.7 meters. Here force mg into rho L upon rho S minus 1 into D, where this is the force. What is rho L? Density of the water, 10 cube. Rho S. Rho S is the density of the body. We could write it as mass by its volume. From this we can calculate, because mass is mentioned and radius is also mentioned. Clear? So first option is clear from this, force into displacement. And second option, if you neglect the viscous force in water, then the speed is, maybe let me check that. From this case we can say the height that can rise by the body, so it is 49 upon 20, then 20 get cancelled, V is equal to 7 meter per second. So second option is also correct, B. First option also you could get correct option by substituting these values. Second also correct. If you neglect the viscous force, then height is wrong, because that could be 49. Next, fourth option. The ratio of the magnitudes of net force excluding the viscous force to the maximum viscous force. Then indirectly he is asking that this relative force to viscous force means mg into rho L upon rho S minus 1 by viscous force is 6 pi eta RV, right? Viscous force. And that the coefficient of viscosity is also given. So by substituting this value you will get D is also correct option. Understood the mechanism? Yeah, very good. Let us go for the next question. Question number 7. A positive singly ionized atom mass number Am is accelerated from rest by the voltage of 192 volts. Okay. Thereafter it enters a rectangular region width W with a magnetic field 0.1 kCal Tesla as shown in the figure. The ion finally hits a detector at a distance x below its starting trajectory. Okay, and the given information, mass of the neutron or proton given, charge of the electron is given. Here one simple point, whenever the charged particle enters into the magnetic field, it deviates and may tries to move in a circular path. Let it be a maximum case, that is semicircle, so here it is the radius. Then that x can be written as, but this length I can just assume as x, that can be written as mv by bq, which is radius from moving charges and magnetism, right? In terms of potential, but potential is given, right? Potential 2mev by eb, because it is a proton, you just assume eb. After substituting the values, you will get the forms that you have to check the options. For substituting potential values, you can substitute the values. You can check the options. You will get B and D. I'm sorry, here one point like A and B. You will get correct option. Clear? Only formula substitution question, guys. There is no depth in that. Right. Then question number 8. The dimensions of a cone are measured. Cone, guys. Using a scale with a least count. What you mentioned the least count value? 2 mm. Means 2 into 10 to the power of minus 1 centimeter. Because remaining measurements are in centimeter. Diameter of the base and the height are both 20 centimeter. Both are. What is the maximum percentage error in the determination of the volume? What is the cone volume formula? First of all, it is not at all a advanced level question, guys. Pure mains level and formula substitution. 1/3 pi d square upon 4 into h. Apply error concept, units and dimensions, right? So delta V by V into 100, percentage error in volume is equal to 2 into delta D by D into 100 plus delta H by H into 100. Now, simple substitution, 2 into delta D by D into 100, delta D by D, how much it is? 2 into 10 power minus 1 by 20 centimeters, right? Plus 2 into 10 power minus 1 by, here also 20 centimeter into 100 common. Clear now? By substituting these values, you will get 3%. Clear? Yeah. Direct formula substitution is. And next, 9th question. A ball is thrown from the location, directly 2 locations you can observe. First case, 45 degree, 45 degree. 2 bodies. Second case, 60 degree, 30 degree. That means, observe here, a body is projected from here, say with a velocity v, an angle of projection 45 degrees. Another body also same velocity, right? And angle 45 degrees. Now, what is asking? It hits the ball in both the cases, the hitting time. First case say T1, second case say T2. Now we have to calculate the square of that ratio. Here, don't try to apply like that x equation separate, y equation separate, because it's too lengthy. Let us apply a shortcut case. That is, both the bodies are traveling under gravity. So, relatively gravity can cancel each other. That means the motion will be relatively straight line. And 90 degrees here, because 45. Clear? Let it be said this length is L. Then choose one body. The displacement covered by that body is L cos 45, so L by root 2. And the time taken, I can write it as the displacement upon velocity. Second case, instead of 45, 60 degree, and instead of here 45, 30 degree. Right? Again here 90. Then L component in this direction. In that case, time period is displacement covered by the first body. L cos 60 value 1 by 2 by velocity v. Yes, in both cases here I choose velocity same because for a fixed v0. Clear? For a fixed v0. Now T1 upon T2 whole square. So in this case, L by v0 cancel. What is the remaining term? 2 upon root 2, that is root 2. Root 2 whole square, 2. That is the answer. Direct question only, this one also, right? Next, 10th question. A charge is kept at a central point P, okay, here Q, charge, of a cylindrical region, okay. The two edges subtends a half angle theta, as shown in the figure. Theta is 31 case, theta is 61 case. Phi and phi by root n. Remember this case here, flux related to the curved surface is Q upon epsilon naught minus 2 into Q upon epsilon naught by 4 pi into 2 pi here into 1 minus cos theta. Or else directly let me cancel the terms. Q by epsilon naught minus Q by epsilon naught into 1 minus cos theta. One case if I substitute 30 degrees, there cos 30 root 3 by 2, and second case if I substitute 60 degrees, cos 60 1 by 2, and compare both the equations. Clear now? Then we will get 3. Okay, root n is equal to root 3 we got, n is equal to 3. That formula substitution. There is no logic also, no depth also here. And next question. Two equilateral triangle prisms P1 and P2 are kept. Okay, it's clear. Sides parallel to each other in vacuum as shown in figure. A light ray enters prism P1 at an angle of incidence theta such that outgoing ray undergoes minimum deviation. That is the hint for this question. Let me draw the diagram. Maybe here the refraction, say refracted angle R1 and here it is R2. After that refraction in air, then here refraction should be horizontal, like similar line, because condition for minimum deviation, right? After that refraction. So here also the normal, here also the normal. So this is emergent angle. As the second case is equilateral triangle, here the angle is 60 degree, then these two angles should be 30. Because R1 is A by 2 and R2 is also A by 2. And here it is the emergent angle E, here it could be also E. Now, it's a refractive index you mentioned √3 and this could be √3 by 2. Apply Snell's law in both the cases separately. That means here √3 sin 30 should be equal to sin E. From that emergent angle you can calculate sin 30 1 by 2. So emergent angle is 60 degrees. Clear? So this is 60. Again apply the Snell's law here. That is root of 3 by 2 sin R2 is equal to sin E. E value already we know. From that we can calculate R2 value. And again apply the Snell's law for this case. That is sin theta is equal to root of 3 by 2 sin R1. Then we can calculate angle theta. That is in terms of root of 3 by 2 sin pi by beta. Here we will get that beta is equal to 12. Okay, Rana? Snell's law, that's it. There is no depth. Only Snell's law. In two different cases. Second prism to air, first prism to air, and air to first prism. That's it. Okay? Next. 12th question. An infinitely long thin wire having a uniform charge density. Okay? Per unit length. So charge density is given. Let it be say lambda 5 into 10 power minus 9 coulomb per meter, because nano is passing through a spherical shell. Okay? That is the charge for this rod. Okay. After that, okay, spherical shell radius given 1 meter. A 10 nano coulomb charge is distributed. Okay, let me redraw the diagram. Here it is the spherical shell has a charge. How much you mentioned? 10 nano coulomb. So 10 into 10 power minus 9. 10 to the power of minus 8 coulombs. Okay. And its radius 1 meter. Okay. Now there are 2 points. Point P and point R. Point P is inside at a distance 0.5 meters, like half. This is point P. And another point, that is R, which is at outside at a distance 2 meters. That's one thing is clear. Now he is asking about the potential. Potential at point P means potential at inside is equal to potential on the surface, that is K Q upon R, capital R here. That is on the surface, right? Yeah. And potential at R, which is outside. So K Q by small r. So the potential difference is Vp minus Vr, which is equal to KQ common, K value 9 into 10 to the power of 9, charge 10 coulombs, right? 10 power minus 8 coulombs, yeah, by first case capital R, second case small r. So 1 upon capital R, 1 meter minus 1 upon 2 meters. If you can simplify, you will get Vp minus Vr. And this is not only the charged body, a uniformly charged infinite rod is there. Due to this, at the same point, the potential will be integral 2k lambda by x dx, means where x1 to x2, 2 into k value, 9 into 10 power 9, lambda value, 5 into 10 power minus 9, because 5 in nano terms is given, right? Integral 1 by x dx log x, After substituting, you will get log 4. So 2 square, 2 log 2. Log 2 value also mentioned, which is 0.7. If you can substitute that value also, then we will get the term totally, like 2 into 2, 4, 4 into 5, 20, 20 into 9. Approximately 171 we will get. Okay? Nice. Substitution case only, na formula related, right? And next, 13th question. A spherical soap bubble inside an air chamber at a pressure P naught given has a certain radius so that excess pressure, for soap bubble, what is the excess pressure? 4T by R naught. That excess pressure you mentioned 144 pascals. Clear? 40 by R naught, right? Next. Now the chamber pressure is reduced to 8 P naught by 27. Okay, now here it is the pressure, okay? 8 P naught by 27. It is reduced to this case. Okay, so that the bubble radius and its excess pressure changed. First, let us get the relation between these two radii. First case, let me say the radii is R1, second case R2. Then P1, V1 is equal to, write it as P2, V2, P1, P naught, V1, R1 cube, because 4 and 5 get cancelled. This is 8 P naught by 27 into R2 cube. From this P naught get cancelled, R1 is equal to 2 by 3 R2, or else R2 is equal to 3 by 2 R1. Okay, second case. For this case, 4T by, again in terms of R naught, means here R2. Instead of R2, I can write 3 by 2 R1. R1 is R naught. Okay, what is the value of this one? Instead of 40 by R naught, you have to substitute 144. So simply the value will be 2 by 3 into 144. How many times it could cancel? 4 times, 8 times, 96 pascals. Very simple here. First P1, V1 is equal to P2, V2. From that, try to get the relation between R2 and R1. Second case, excess pressure forms. By using that excess pressure, substitute R2 value and try to calculate that pressure value. Okay? Yeah, next. In Young's double slit experiment, each of the two slits, A and B, are shown in the figure. Okay? These two are the slits, and the gap between the slits is small d. Okay? And D is a variable here. Where omega value also mentioned, the distance of the screen from the slits is 1 meter, wavelength given 6000 angstroms. The interference pattern on the screen changes with time, of course, because the slit's width is variable, while the central bright fringe remains fixed at the point O. Okay. Now, 14th question. This is the information. The 8th bright fringe above the point O oscillates with the time between two extreme positions. The separation between these two extreme positions in micrometer is, first, 8th bright fringe you try to calculate. Okay, 8th bright fringe. Generally, what is the form for that? Lambda d upon d, fringe width it is, right? Means gap between two successive. 8th bright fringe means into 8. In this case, d is variable. So let me multiple and divide with d and derivative the d. Clear? Then the derivative variable function you can get it. And if you substitute that value here, we will get that micrometer like frequency 600 units of the angstroms. Here micrometer. Direct substitution case, single derivation. That's it. And next, second question in this information. Same experiment, same fringe width. What is asking now? Maximum speed at which 8th bright fringe will move to. First calculate the difference and derivative it. Got a point? Like y2 minus y1 and then derivative it. That derivative will give us the speed at which it can move. So there you will get 24. Next one. Two particles 1 and 2 each of mass m are connected by a massless spring, okay, and are horizontal frictionless plane. x1, x2, both the distance also given which is variable. D greater than 2a. Particle 3 of mass m moves towards the system. Speed given a omega by 2. Unit is a omega upon 2. Now, and undergoes instantaneous elastic collision with particle 2 at time t naught. Finally, particles 1 and 2 acquire a center of mass, speed Vcm, and oscillates with OK. Now, question. If the collision occurs at a time t is equal to 0, the value of Vcm by a omega. Simple logic is. Between these two, elastic collision means velocities will be interchanged because same mass. Na? So, this tries to move with a velocity a omega by 2. Second one is at rest. So, apply conservation of linear momentum. Clear? That's it, conservation of linear momentum. Then Vcm by a omega, we will get 0.75. Same question, if the collision occurs at time pi by 2 omega, then the value of 4b square by a square. Same mechanism here. First body, already we discussed that it moves with a velocity a omega by 2. Second body, initial amplitude, let it be say b, and first particle also b. Apply conservation of energy. Okay, apply conservation of energy. Then we will get 4b square by a square. Right from the equation itself we can get it, right? Equation from equation itself. That is around 25. That's it, guys. Last two paragraphs, dead easy points. One is derivative related, one is conservation of energy related. That's it. And I hope so that everyone did very well for this advanced exam. And once again, it is proved that and the analysis from the Knowledge Hub by Sri Chaitanya 2024 advanced paper again proved in physics. It is easy to get the score. Only the thing is, we should be strong at concept and we should read the question carefully. That's it. Thank you so much. Wish you all the best.